Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing J&B and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better rise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better rise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Class Reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Class Reloaded,
Truth,
Liberia rising,
progress,
JMB and JKK,
develop,
the rescue mission, we move soon.
the Class Reloaded,
True,
Liberia rising,
progress,
JMB and JKK,
develop, the rescue mission, we move soon.
Because as we all know, for the past years, we used to spend like 2 to 3 days on this road. But for this year, it's okay. From Monrovia all the way to the southeast, we spend less than 24 hours. Depends the car that you will take, depends the driver, because the road condition, the pavement of the road condition have helped us in that direction. So at least we are accessible to getting to our locations on time, where our goods can get damaged and other things. So that's it.
Monrovia, good morning, boy.
Morning.
Just getting up. So we are in a boat, actually, to inspect our goods here now. For the past few days, been traversing factory testing centers and what have you. So you can see we have almost 1,000 or 2,000 pipes here. These are all water and sewer pipes. You see them there labeled, stack up in the port, for shipment. So these are our stock, and you see from all there coming. These are the trucks that are bringing the pipe, like we said, bring them, transport them to the port here, and these are lined up with the pipe. Other one over there. So on the other side, you can see that those are not our pipes. That far and those smaller ones over there. You can see.
I have played your take care, but I pick your being here. You settle us. Come so we can move. Hear the message? Message there. So let me tell you something. You see the mark, what the mark in your office? It's very important. You got that marking there, just in case, for compensation or relocation package, and that marking can go back. So nobody must stop nobody from marking. Thank you very much. Bako again. Yeah.
Welcome to the ELWA Junction, Pinsville, Liberia. This 3D roundabout navigation guide video will help you understand how to safely navigate the 3-lane roundabout, offering access to 4 different directions, whether you are using a bus, motorcycle, car, or truck. This roundabout offers access to Roberts International Airport, Sincourt on the Todman Boulevard, Red Light on the Todman Boulevard, and A.B. Toba roads. In this video, we will use the traffic on the Todman Boulevard approaching the roundabout from Sincourt to show how to navigate the roundabout. Choose your destination from local knowledge or from the advanced signage and select lane in advance using the lane selection sign as a guide. Reduce your speed and be prepared to stop for pedestrians when the signal is red at the pedestrian crossing. Yield to all lanes or vehicles approaching from your left already inside the roundabout. If you want to continue straight from Sincourt to Red Light, simply stay in your straight lane and follow the road markings. To turn right towards RIA Road, approach the roundabout in the right turning lanes, signal right and exit onto the RIA Road. For a left turn towards A.B. Toba Road, approach the roundabout in the left lane, signal left, go around the roundabout and exit onto the A.B. Toba Road. If you need to make a U-turn, stay in the left lane, drive around the roundabout and exit onto the exit lane. Always maintain a safe following distance. Stop for people crossing when the signal is red. No sulling, no stopping or pull over all vehicles. No parking in the roundabout area. Use the designated parking and stopping areas. Bicycle users are advised to dismount and leave the road at the pedestrian crossing location. Then use the footways and pedestrian crossing to gain access to the road where they can continue their journey. Truck rear wheels may go over the truck apron on the central island. Congratulations! You have successfully navigated the ELWA Junction 3-lane roundabout. Remember to drive cautiously and yield the right of way to traffic on your left already in the roundabout to ensure a safe and smooth traffic flow. Thank you for watching this 3D roundabout navigation guide. Safe travels.
Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
Oh, the Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today. Oh.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The clouds reloaded, we shining today.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The class reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The class reloaded,
Truth, truth,
Liberia rising.
progress.
JMB and JKK,
Develop, develop.
the rescue mission, we move soon.
The class reloaded.
True, true,
Area rising.
progress.
JMB and JKK.
Develop, develop, the rescue mission, we move soon.
Yo, welcome, my people, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's a brand new show, first and foremost. I'm going to say a big apology to you guys. There was a little brief, I think about 4 or 5 minutes delay. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. We have to make some adjustments. But we say thank you plenty for coming in the show today. Yo, welcome to the show. It's a brand new show here today. It's the 26th of November. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I know most of you guys in Liberia. Not so much you're gonna eat tomorrow, not so much food will be eating here tomorrow, but you're welcome anyway from across our country. We say everybody welcome the radio stations from across the counties. You're welcome. We're welcome those of you guys who are always in the hobby of sharing the show, making sure that you guys really message across Liberia. We say thank you so much for contributing your portion to making sure we improve Liberia. The class related music is saying that Liberia's improvement, new development, education is expanding. Things are working in the right direction. I know some people will have hesitation to, it is not going at 10,000 miles an hour. That's a fair argument you can make if you choose to make the argument. But nobody in the country can deny that the country is gradually improving in literally every single vital aspect of development is happening across the country. From electrification, there's a gradual improvement. Actually, rapidly, some may tell you, from the issue of road connectivity, there are massive improvement. From the issue of water supply, there are improvement, sanitation enhancement, education towards the health sector. Now, there are instances people say, well, there are certain portions of the government that is getting way more money in the budget. I may concede that point, and I agree with you. I believe such increments in certain portions of the budget should not be happening. It should go more towards infrastructural development. That's an argument we can make, but nobody can argue that Liberia is not improving. There are massive amount of improvement across our country. Let's continue to ask for more. Let's continue to shake the bush and request that Liberia be elevated to its proper place. It's not going to happen overnight, but it takes people like you and I to continue to push the narrative and say, listen, Mr. President, we want more for our country. We want more budgets shifted towards the health sector. We want more budgets shifted towards education so these young people can be far more prepared than we were, so they can be able to develop Liberia. That's an argument. That's a fair argument we can make. But nobody can deny there are improvements in the country. Even my brother here, Samuel Sobo, welcome to the show. Good evening, class. I'm watching from Mansana, Marshall Road. Welcome to the show. All you guys watching from Mansana, Marshall Road, we say welcome to my own brother, Jared Dobley. I want to go by y'all. You know, my spring players, I'm going to let's say big shout out to my brother Dwana S. Dwana, welcome to the show. Alua Blessing, how are you doing? G. Glimo Taylor, Mr. Taylor, welcome to the show. Thomas Awaji, how are you doing, my brother? My own sister, Siata Tengwe, Madam Tengwe, welcome to the show. Queenie Love Gray, Madam Gray, how are you doing? Diamond Go out of Ohio, USA, welcome to the show. Mohammed Douglas Colette, Mr. Colette, how are you doing? I'm looking for YouTubers here. I don't see a lot. There are at least 64 people on YouTube right now. Asi Taje, Zwamido is watching. Alalumi Togo, always on YouTube. Welcome to the show. Vera Clinton, Madam Clinton, how are you doing? Emma Sporty Jr., class attention. I agreed, class attention. Let's now talk about Liberia a little bit. Another YouTuber, I see Ban Alice. Ban Alice is watching from Iowa, USA. Welcome to the show, Alice. I see Francis Amode. Mr. Amode, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Baby Ma Elia Hadwalu, thanks for all you do. Thank you so much for appreciating us. We appreciate you way more than you will know. Thank you so much. Lefty211 is watching out of Philadelphia for YouTube. Welcome to the show. Kalbe Kalako is watching out of the great the city of Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome to the show, Boston City House. Welcome. Louis Yasia is watching out of Pennsylvania. Dennis Quasi Huff, Mr. Huff, yes, sir. Welcome to the class. Franklin H.B. Sano, working JMB is Liberia best president. He's on the path to becoming Just Dive. He continues on his path and continue to expand the kind of vision that is being displayed in the country. We want more from our president. I see Gwen Sia play 5965. You are here, absolutely. Welcome to the show. Benjamin Son Kale 8105. How are you doing, my brother Jonathan Nazri Bodo? Welcome to the show, my brother Joseph. We're joining you together. RV6149. Welcome to the show. Everybody, man, you're welcome to the show. Let's talk briefly before the guys come on board. There's a lot of stuff happening in the country about the Claire Foundation. People don't understand what that is. This is actually on the docket tonight. We're going to talk briefly about it. And people that were causing noise across the country, the president does listen, especially to the people over at Hotel Africa. There is close to $1 million in the budget to make sure that we relocate some of those people. This is a very good news for our people. You have to understand, even though they should not be on government property, they should not be just sitting on government property and demanding money from the government. But the government also recognizes that sometimes we have to look back to our people, given some of the conditions in the country. And I think that's a very good thing, that our people can be relocated in a proper location. But let this message go out. Don't go sit on government land or sit on somebody's land you built on it. Then when it's time for the land, and people behave as though the government is doing something that they should not be doing. That is not okay. Government don't have that kind of money to be giving money away. We have to put the money towards development, and development that's going to be expanded. Hopefully, it can create some jobs across the country, and our people can go to work. But I want to speak to you briefly. Look, I'm an avid watcher of social media, and I don't want to mention the name, but I want to mention the name so people can know what I'm talking about. It's not a promotion, but this is crucially important that his name is mentioned. It's called Street Fries. And the reason why we were talking about Street Fries here today is, so for those of you guys who have not seen Street Fries, I suggest you go to your Facebook page and you look at our young women in the country. And I understand this young man is a content creator and he will create his content. I get it. But our young women, I got a message for you. That force for you to toss one in the way you can talk online like that. That force for you to be half naked just to make a message. What kind of society we've becoming where our women would just literally naked themselves and say, I got 7 gold pa. I said in my own, if you want to for me to sleep over like $50, we are promoting it. If you want to do this one that $25, like $30, turn around 360 for the camera. They're half naked in the streets of Liberia. I get it. You can watch social media and say, well, they're doing it in Japan. They are doing it in this other location. This is not us. That's not us. That's not how we be. There is such a dignity that we ascribe to the women in our society, not because we don't want you to be naked in the streets of Monrovia, but because your nakedness extends to my mother. That's how we think about it. Your nakedness extends to my sister. It extends to the community. I get it. You can naked yourself. You say, oh, am I right? No, that's not how the right be naked work. You can't be naked yourself all in the street and showing yourself in a way that is not right. This is not okay for our society. We are Liberians. There is a better way. I understand these young people have to do some of this stuff. I get it. But you're not forced to be naked yourself on camera just to get a 15 seconds of fame. And this young man creates some content. The content creators in the country, they yet come up with all kind of nyama, they call it content. And whether it's just vile at times, it is okay. They say, well, I'm on Facebook page, I can just do that. A lot of countries are regulating this. A lot of countries, you can just put some filth on social media. Our young people are watching this, and we are beginning to normalize these debaucherous behavior across our country. And people say, well, this is my content. This is what I want to do. That my Facebook page. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's coming out of Liberia. Is this the best we are putting out there? Is it possible that we can do better? Or this is the best we can do, that every single thing we talk about in the country is just vile? Any way you can think about, man, we won't be that the only content we can pour there. It seems every content, this is where it's going. And when you talk about it, you say, well, who that one won't prove? You won't tell me, say, you won't. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm talking about civility in our community. Do most of you guys realize that whatever you post to social media, in many instances, is quite permanent? Unless you have some serious money to scrub social media or scrub the internet, which most people like Liberian don't have that kind of money. And sometimes you can't even scrub it entirely. What are you putting on social media? Let's put something better on social media. This is a suggestion. I know my voice don't carry a weight to do that. The legislature can try to legislate some of this. Listen, you can't put this vile thing out there and you call it content creation. People just go and post all kind of wild way on social media, and we say, but they may own no content, and we laugh with it while our children growing up. When the children talking, there was a little girl, I believe somewhere in Cayman County, the guy who was creating content. He asked the girl, she must have been like 6 or 7 years old. She said, what do you want to be when you grow up? She said, I want to be Hopo Joe. And everybody's laughing. A 7 or 8-year-old young girl, her name is Benu. What you want to be when you grow up? She said, I want to be Hopo Joe. This is what our children are aspiring to. And we call it content creation. A baby talking about, when I grew up, I want to become a Hopo Joe, and we are okay with this. This is crazy. We got better work to do in Liberia. And parents, you have a responsibility in our country to guide your children properly, because if your child spoil, that the whole of Liberia is spoiling, because all we face the consequences of the spoilage of that child, if that's a proper way to use that word. All we suffer. The Zogos in Liberia, that 1% suffering from the consequences of the Zogo if you don't raise your child right. Nobody lives on an island. We all live in Liberia together. If you spoil your child, you're spoiling the whole of Liberia. You take a 7-year-old, interviewing her, when you grow up, where you want to be, I want to be a Hopo Joe. And everybody laughing when they let that. So I'm going to play 30. This is unacceptable, guys. Unacceptable. We got better work to do in the country. The gender ministry should look into that personally. If you're going to be putting our young babies on screen and you think you're making content. Thank you, Mary. I told them I once saw that. Bowen, thank you. I believe that my one once see it, and we think that joke over there. She ain't talking about, when I grow up, I want to be the next Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She ain't talking about that one. Okay? I want to be the next Supreme Court Justice of the Republic of Liberia. I want to be the next professor at the University of Liberia, Tome University. I want to be the next director at MPhil. No, she's not aspiring to none of that. She's aspiring to become a rapper and a Hopo Joe, and we are okay with it. When you talk it as the way you won't prove that I ain't seen before. It's not what I'm saying. There must be some standard in our society. That's what I'm saying. Some standard that is acceptable. That's what I'm asking here. Yo, welcome to the show, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Let's come on screen. Let's talk Liberia. Let's continue to elevate the issue of Liberia. Look, the issue of elevating Liberian issue is everything concerning the society. Whether it's social, whether it's political, whether economical, we will elevate everything, because our job here is to make sure Liberia gets better. Don't think about Liberia as restricted to a presidency. It extends far beyond a given presidency, because Liberia is here forever. A presidential term comes and goes. Mr. Onanuga, welcome to the show, sir. What do you have to say, man, about some of the social issues across our country?
Well, Dalu, I've not been in Liberia for quite some time, but I also know that there are a lot of things that are happening every day positively. We are in the UK right now, trying to see how we can get some negotiations up going for the tourism activities and things that will motivate our citizens to do better. We also know that Liberia again is about to make another history by being elected into Category A of the World Maritime Authority, and that election is on Friday in London. There are Category A, Category B, and Category C. There are 11 countries contesting for 10 slots, and Liberia is one of those. Liberia is the largest owns the largest registry of ships around the world. So we are the biggest on the block. We are the only African country amongst the 10 that are sitting right now. And we hope to sustain and maintain our seat. So it's a major goal to achieve. After we've achieved several goals, one is which the UN Security Council, which we achieved the ECOWAS Youth Capacity Building Center headquarters in Liberia. We've also achieved the ability for reciprocity in terms of passports. Now we are going for this particular one, which will solidify our size and capacity. The position allows us to be a major voice in deciding what happens within the Marines of the world, along with the trade of ship business and flag flying. So it's a key component of our voice remaining relevant. We're also heading a lot of UN committees right now, as well as the fact that we are also now, again this year, being put back into the fold of the UN Terrorism Authority. So a lot of plus is taking us back to where we used to be. Yesterday, we had huge visitations to every single mission that is involved in the world maritime affairs. Today is continued. It's a whole diplomatic lobbying visitation, reciprocity visitations that has been taking place. And if people don't know, it simply tells us that we're back in the fold and we're doing well. Something I need you to know is that the places we had to go and visit, about 10, 15, 20 diplomatic missions in London, is actually the place where a property could cost about $30 to $40 million today, each of the diplomatic properties. And that's where Liberia had 2 of our properties sold during the Doe era. Today, if you see those massive mansions, it tells you a lot. It also tells you that we need to wonder what happened in Brussels recently when the last ambassador who was there, along with some other people in government, were able to sell our properties in Brussels. All these things begin to give me reason why I don't want to comb my hair at all. It worries that we're here, that we are in a dire situation to correct our diplomatic error and status which we had before and bring it back to full. Beyond that, it's a disgrace to see that people in government will take their time instead of focusing on the results to do other things that are funny. We are beginning to witness things happening where it is not the people outside that are fighting the people in government, it's the people inside. And there is a mission now to actually begin to expose even people inside who are going to be there to weaken or allow a blood situation to affect our governance system that has seen us run a race beyond normal. Be it as it may, and I thank you very much that we are going to do a lot of work in the future.
Thank you. You're doing a lot of work. I don't want to tell you this because we're still working in the background. I might have to run to Qatar and come to Liberia. I might have some good news for you. I keep my fingers crossed. We are interested in Asapo National Park. There's a lot of stuff we will talk about behind the scene, but I will tell you this: there's a lot of things happening. Patrick, I want to play a 30-second video so you can actually comment on it. When people try to showcase the Republic of Liberia, IFTA says nothing good is happening. They are haunted by their own curse. If you could not go to Grand Jita County, it takes you 3-4 days. If you could not go into San Luis County, it takes you sometimes a week, parts of Grand Jita, parts of Nima County. And then you try to fool the very people that are living in that location. They tend to remind you that, listen, you don't understand what we've been going through here. We are living as though we have full access to Monrovia in hours. Let me play the 30-second video and have you comment, Patrick. This actually Yeke in Grand Jita County. He's literally being booed when you try to tell the people out there that the road sport, the government are doing nothing. Listen to the people. Stop the video. I come to your home, Patrick. I won't convince your daughter that she's not eating. But your daughter living in your home.
Yeah, Dwalo, Representative Yeke Koluba has really had some nightmares in Grand Jita County. You may recall that at some point he was chased out of the county. He was stoned and chased during the reign of former President Weah. And now he goes back to Grand Jita County. He gets embarrassed. I think there is a time for everything, and people must understand timing in life. You know, you have to step up your game. You have to upgrade. Somebody said you cannot be Nokia 3310 all the time. You have to upgrade. And it would seem to me he's doing the same old thing and expecting people to adjust to his style, but people are really getting fed up. This is not the first time. You may recall that he was also embarrassed in Sino County just recently. Just days ago in Sino County before he moved on to Grand Jide County. That was so embarrassing today. I watched the video, and then I also saw him stepping out, and that's the one you showed. But there's another video clip of him at the Intellectual Center, and they were not even giving him chance to speak. I think he had attempted to insult the president, who is by far older than he is, something that he does with ease, without regrets. And he also attempted to insult public officials. And the people said, but wait, now this man is leaving his district in Montserrado County, parading around like a mad dog, parading all over the place as if there's something wrong with he's insulting everybody. You know, he goes out just insulting, and he takes it to be a normal thing. But today he got a piece of the pie, you know, of what he does. And so, you know, more of that. He needs to go to Nima and see what's going to happen as well, or perhaps Bong and other places. As he goes from one end to another, he gets embarrassed. But this brings me quickly to a point where you raised first about the content creators. And so Yeke has now become a bad content creator. Yeah, he has become he's put himself, and it's sad. You know, he's an honorable man, or he is supposed to be an honorable man, and for the sake of decency, I know he's a representative, so he's an honorable man. But you know, the way he conducts himself in a very demeaning form and fashion, as if he, you know, it's self-esteem, as if he doesn't even have respect for himself and his family. He goes out, insults women, he tells women how they look. You know, he says it with ease, and people listen to it, people enjoy it, people celebrate him for that. Same way now the kids are behaving, you know. So it was so embarrassing today for him, man. It was so embarrassing today.
Yeah, the thing is, Patrick, welcome Mo. Let me go to Honorable Pia. The people themselves sees what's happening. I think I was on Mo page today, and Mo posted something. This is the argument. Before, it was about the LD rate. It was very hard. Now, because there is no talk around the LD rate, because there is some stabilization, we'll push out one side. The issue was about rice prices, it was about petroleum. Nothing else is happening anymore. We'll push out one side. No more car getting stuck on the road on the major thoroughfares. We're talking about the major access road to the county capitals. They put out on one side. If legislature is stable, they say now they say Joe Baga when it's not gonna watch. No, Liberian people, let me tell you something. Your country is not out there for the highest bidder. It's about delivery to the country. Let's talk about the real thing that affect the people's lives. Honorable Pia, welcome to the show. We're here to your head. I would love if you can comment on the issue in our country, especially on social media, where we take a 6-year-old and ask her what she want to be in the future, but she will come out and say, I want to be a Hopo Joe. And this is something we're supposed to be creating content. Honorable Pia.
Thank you, Dualu. Good to be back here. Like last night, with a little divided attention because it's a really tough game, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. It's a real good game. So I'm sparring there and trying to be on at the same time. So just bear with me as you were able to bear with me last night.
Yes, sir.
So for somebody to put a 6-year-old on video.
So we have to bear with you when they're beating Barcelona now.
I don't know what age, but you look 6.
I had absolutely no issue yesterday because the two teams that play are my teams. So it didn't matter who won.
I think that was the game.
So whatever age that child is.
Yeah, I don't argument you need to leave it because you love Barcelona more than Chelsea.
No, that be like we can't hear.
You don't want to get my hat?
No, but Pierre, the traffic you get, yeah. Let me be honest. I saw your post and I was just shaking my head.
You told me Chelsea? Really? What you said? What you said, Jenna?
You told me on Chelsea?
Then you don't know me.
The man who said that if Barcelona loses with this win, he come in and say,
then you don't know. Ali knows the fact when he says, so he recognized that for decades I've been a Chelsea fan. And it's clear.
Jacob Jala jumping from.
I support a team in Spain, and I support a team in England. And those two teams are Barcelona and Chelsea. I mean, if you don't know up to now, then you don't know.
Make your point.
Then you don't know. But you don't want broad all kind of argument, unnecessarily though. But
no, you and I agree. You're trying to make point.
So I was saying that Dwalu, if you took a child of whatever age is, and you purposely decide to record it and put it on social media, and what comes out of the child mouth is I want to be Obojo, it means you already programmed the child on what you wanted to say, and you think you're creating content. That's just all. And which is sheer stupidity to the core. And if that child is not that person's child, then they should be made to answer some questions.
I agree.
Even if it is their own child, somebody got to hold them at some, kind of inquiry, because what you're doing to the child is not just about what the child is doing, but many young people who have access to social media, your bad content can influence, their thought process. They can start asking, "Oh, what do they mean by Obojo? What do they mean by this?" You're introducing them to a crazy language, and that's why most time people who can say not everybody who can born a child is a parent. That's quite true, because no real parent will do that kind of thing. That's all I could say about it. And on other things that I'm concerned about, I think Africa needs to make progress, and the more we place ourselves in reverse gear, then the longer it takes for our progress to be made manifest. I was shocked to have learned today that there was a coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau.
Right.
I know the country has been in an electoral process, and for the electoral process itself to culminate into a coup rather than the electoral declaration on who has been elected, it should be concerning to every, serious-minded persons on the continent. And then the other thing is,
Mexican people here.
I have known the president of the United Methodist University for some time. I know of recent they've had some kind of engagement with some of the alumni. I think they broke ground for some construction work, and he was actively involved in all those processes, only to have learned whether it is confirmed, but it's all over social media that he unexpectedly died. I want to really say condolences to his family and wish that God would console them during such a turbulent period. I think those are the things that we initially want to comment on. Thank you.
Yeah, and our big condolences go out to the United Methodist family. Mo Ali, what's going on with you? Any kind of social issue before we pull on the first topic that is trending all over social media today?
Yeah, so first, starting with what Minister Pia ended with, our condolences to the UMU family. I heard he was in, one of my office staff is in UMU, and she was telling me that he was in your office and collapsed. That's a really, really sad thing. I wanted to talk on this whole Yeke issue. Sometimes you don't want to give him credence, but you want to see the kind of person he is. Like some people will say, "Oh, I regret supporting Yeke." I don't regret supporting him. But at times, people can be allowed to expose their own ignorance. People should be allowed to expose their own limitation. Yeke is not dynamic. Yeke thinks that the politics he preached yesterday, the same politics can hold today. The sense to think that the conditions of yesterday are different from today is not there. Now you get on the road, and the reason why I want to talk about it is from this angle. You get on the road, drove from Monrovia in the morning, reached Sino in the afternoon, and then you stand before the very people there and say, the road is bad. When these people know that it used to take them weeks, days or weeks from Monrovia, in fact, not from Monrovia, from Grand Bassa to Sino. Now you're driving hours to go there. Then you go and tell them the road bad. They look at you and classify you. And I guess some of these young people were sitting there thinking, I wonder which category of stupidity this guy is in. To drive on the road in hours from Bassa to Sino. Then you go and stand before them and tell them, and they know the condition of their road currently. They knew what the condition of their road were. So they classify it. Then they get confused and ask, what kind of stupid is this stupid guy? Then you leave from there, you go to Grangida. Yeah, noted, Grangida is not a unity party terrain, but there are people there who think that respect should be granted to old people, and the politics should not always be about insult. And I have always detested Yeket politics of insult. So you go there, instead of discussing issues, you begin to insult. Then the young people say, no, but this time around, we are not taking it from you. Come and discuss issues without insulting. But the next thing also is that the reason why you see Yeke is moving around is because there is a major debate in the legislature relating to the budget. Yeke has got absolutely no capacity to discuss the budget. So in order to hide that his inability to discuss anything meaningful on the legislature, he gets up and says, I'm uncounted poor. Because he does not have the capacity to stand on the floor and discuss meaningfully, to tell his colleague, look, I want this in my district. He has no capacity to even understand the budget. So in order to hide that limitation, he gets up and says, I'm having a countrywide tour, a nationwide tour. You want to tour anything for your district. You want to advocate for your district. What are you going to look for in the other people in the county there? You're not president. You're not vice president. You're not speaker. You're not president pro tem. You're not nothing. You representative for District 10. So in order for the man to hide his limitation, his inability to stand among his colleagues when there is perfect silence and say, conduct yourself or present your debate, that's why he runs away. Let me end on this note. We had a colleague like that. We're in this organization, and every time there is a meeting, when people talking, the man would just disturb. He would just disturb. So one day I recommended to my friends, I say, you know what? Let's give this comrade 5 minutes. 5 straight minutes. Nobody should talk. No one should even drop a phone. Let's give him 5 minutes to just express himself. And everyone agreed, I'll go with it. And we sat down, we say, comrade, take 5 minutes, take the floor. The man stood up in the center of the parade, and after a few seconds, he said, gentlemen, let's go home. Tells you that some people thrive only in noise, and not even a productive noise, unproductive cacophony. That's why they survive in. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mo. Senator Dillon, you're trying to enter the link. I put a new link in the chat room. I'm going to send it to you personally. Let me just make this comment. Now, this should go without saying. Just because you can get to the southeastern portion of the country the same day, it doesn't mean that's the role we want for Liberia. But we want you to contrast that role to what it was before. This is the argument. It's been substantial improvement. I don't want people leaving here to say, oh, you're saying all the road and paved. No. If you see the president constantly pushing to have these roads paved, let me put in the Liberian parlance, to have them paved, this is the issue. But you cannot deny that those crucial areas have been tackled substantially. They're talking about major roads leading to the counties. Yes, there are other secondary roads that are still not easily deployable in the rainy season. Those will be tackled down the line. These distinctions must be made. But anybody can drive from Monrovia, you go to Zwedru, you get there the same day. You can drive from Monrovia and go to any part. You can go to Maryland County the same day. You can go to the southeastern portion of the country the same day. And this is progress. That's what we are talking about. Not saying the way the road looks now is how we want that road to be. That's not an argument. And I want to say this. Before I bring out the first topic, today all over social media and even in the press, they're talking about the issue, something that was issued by a judge regarding the Claire Hope Foundation. And the reason for this topic, because sometimes we got to bring clarity to this. It is very important. Even before the previous president came to power, people say, oh, he had all this money. Even his own wife admitted that they were regular people. They had no money. And I have the video here. I'm going to play the video very briefly. So whatever she built during the tenure of the previous administration belongs to the Republic of Liberia. If the government wants to take that over, and the government say, let's see all the documentation surrounding this. This is not a witch hunt. Look, young people in the country, you got to stop these little things that create division. Wanting to take over government property so the government can be able to properly fund this property so it can provide services to our people. It is not witch hunting an individual. The court order is the proper way to do it. The government cannot overstep this bound. It has to go through the court. And I see over social media today, especially our young brothers from CDC, not understanding what this is. Oh, like we are property. They want bid a team. Yeah, you be go bid. Oh, no, this is government property. Monies were allocated in the Liberian budget for 6 years, 6 consecutive years to have that place funded, to have it built. And I want to play a short video listening to herself before we go into the detail of this so you guys can fully understand what's surrounding this issue. This is from Claire Weah's own mouth.
Where I have it now? No, I didn't. You know, many people say, why wasn't she doing that before? How did I? I'm a simple woman. I don't have the income. I don't have. So now I got the platform as a first lady where I can exploit it. And when I say exploit it in a positive way where I can help people. And in the sense of being a first lady in Liberia, there's not enough income to help me to do this. So what I did, I have a great husband who has a lot of contacts internationally. That is the truth. And I said to him, I want to do this, but I need help. And he went out and he worked hard for me. Every time he goes somewhere, I said, can you ask your friend? And I mean, when I say friends, I'm talking about presidents and stuff.
And I want to say this. I want to say a big shout out to the former First Lady Claire Weah for building this foundation. This is something Liberia desperately needed. She did a great job at building this place. But even she herself recognized that this doesn't belong to her. And I'm going to read the court order. This is also in collaboration with the Asset Recovery Agency. This is being done right. If you hold a position in Liberia and you utilize that position to raise money outside, this is also under the purview of governance. It goes to that entity. It doesn't go to you individually. People must understand this. This is important. Court orders BMC to produce document in the Claire Foundation construction probe. This is our system. This is the process. You have to go through the court. Going through the court is the right way to do this. Criminal Court A has issued a writ of subpoena. Deuces Techcom ordering the management of our Building Materials Center, BMC, to appear and produce detailed financial and contractual record related to the construction of the Claire Hope Foundation, a high-profile project now under scrutiny. The order issued on the November turn of court, signed by court clerk Gabriel J. Smith, stemmed from a petition filed by the Asset Property Retrieval Task Force, chaired by Councilor Edwin K. Martin. The task force is seeking access to a wide range of documents believed to be in BMC's possession. According to the writ, BMC General Manager, Chief Executive Officer, shareholders, and all those acting on their authority are commanded to appear before his Honor, Roosevelt Z. Willie, Resident Circuit Judge, Criminal Court A, on Thursday, November 27, 2025, 10 p.m. That's all this is. This is not a possession. This is a process, but I want people to understand this. This belongs to the Republic of Liberia. This property actually belongs, yes, it was initiated by the former First Lady first ladies from across the globe. They take on a project. The government help them fund that project. They go all over looking for money to get money to input into that project. This is a good thing that was done by the previous first lady, but this is not her personal property. This belongs to the government of Liberia. Honorable Danuga, let's have you chime in on this issue.
As you can hear, the lady, first of all, said the first lady said we had none. I used my husband's network and influence, and it could not work if it was not the President of the Republic of Liberia. That's the first thing she said. The second thing she said, I exploited the situation. Not for me, let me explain it to you, but for the good of Liberia.
Right.
The third thing that you must catch there is that she utilized it, built it in Liberia and for the Liberians. Now, the question would be, does a president take gifts for himself or for the state? How is it giving? Financially, you use your position. It's also a simple means of saying, hey, I can employ my brothers and sisters and nothing will happen. And that's not true. It simply means that I can walk into an office and say, listen, my man, I'm the one that put you there, so give me something. That's not going to happen. So basically, what the Access Recovery is trying to do is say, listen, let's see, first of all, who signed this contract to you. Is it the Cloudware Foundation? Is it President Ware that said, Mayor, go build this thing for us quickly? Is it an international organization that say, okay, we pay BMC to do it? They want to establish those situations. But even before establishing the situation, the Cloudware Foundation, for 6 years, where did the money come from to fund it?
That's exactly.
And if she says that they didn't have it before, and because she didn't have it, she didn't have the kind of income to even do a salary. So now that she's gotten the first lady title and she's got a budget that makes sense, she complements the budget with her husband being able to beg for extras. So she's explaining it in totality.
That's right.
We don't need magic science. We don't need oracle. We don't need nothing. But to even do the right thing, the Access Recovery is saying, listen, we don't even want to say it's governments. Let's go through the process. And the process is the due process of law. At the end of the day, whatever they're looking for to establish that so that another government will not take it again and give it to the Cloudware Foundation, they're laying that foundation legally now. And that's why you will see, Dualu, before I end, this is the first government that is saying everything that is being done, nothing is being done in the president's name.
That's right.
Some years ago, just yesterday,
14, everything.
Everything was being built by somebody, not by government money, not in the name of the government, but in the name of an individual. And so at the end of the day, you can say the whole country belongs to the individual. But in actual sense, we've now seen governance being pursued in the name of the people, by the people, for the people, with the people. And so what we're getting is sanity. If this sanity will go into people saying witch hunt, it will also go into the process of saying sensitization, orientation, and education. They will buy it. And I will tell you why I know Liberians will buy it as I end. We started a drug war. It's the people that are pursuing the drug war today. And it's working. We started disciplining the streets. It is the pimp and keke that are obeying traffic lights. So we can go on and on and on. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as my conscience will judge me, these particular projects, we need to investigate them and know really if it is government or not government. But based on statements made, you can have a first opinion and say it is government.
Absolutely. Look, Patrick, let me come to you. Look, like we are still saying, I know sometimes our brothers from across the street will say some people have 89 million or 87 million, whatever it was. She's telling us she's a common, regular person. I have a lot of respect for Claire Weah and what she's done for Liberia as a first lady, and this is a great thing. But I don't think she's making an argument. I've never heard her make this argument that this is her personal property, because she said, I could not even build this when I was a regular person. I didn't have the money to even build this. So we know, and there are reports through the budget over the last 6 years where money was being actually put in the budget to fund the Cloudware Foundation, and whatever money came from abroad helps supplement that, but it still goes on the purview of the government. Patrick, how do we explain this to our brothers that government property extends that far?
But Dwalu, it's too early to suggest or to say so, because we're getting some very interesting details. You know, as a matter of fact, there have been an ongoing investigation into this matter. We are getting some very interesting details that could shock you. So this would not have been a problem were it in the government's name. But because it is not in the government's name, and she held a very key position, don't get me wrong.
Wait, Patrick, say that again. The property is not in the government of the Republic of Liberia's name?
Exactly.
Okay.
The property is not in the government's name. So but how will it be in the government name when you see what she's doing everything, but she's not the, she presides over, and you will hear some very interesting details as this case goes on. But I was just saying that, I just got off track, but I was saying that the government of Liberia, through the asset recovery team, has asked the court, and the court has granted the subpoena of BMC to come and show the financial trails, financial details as to how that project came up. As you said, all the other projects we've seen, and this is a new pattern for Liberia.
Correct.
And we hope this is sustained. This pattern is sustained from government to government, so that it sends a very clear message that when you're in a privileged position and you start to tie everything with your name, as much as your supporters would celebrate, but there is a day coming that you will account. And the day is here that she has to account. I'm getting details that the property, the land for which that property is on, is actually in Timothy Weah's name. And that is a problem.
It's a major problem.
That is a problem because, and I understand she's been disturbed all through today after the court's decision.
Yep.
Because Timothy is on a professional contract in Europe, earning a legit salary.
Correct.
And once that is established, that property for which we're talking about is in his name, the land is in his name, there would be indictments, there could be indictments.
Yeah.
And if there are indictments, they have to indict the person who owns the property.
That's right.
And that could very well go on impugning on his contract and all of that. So it's a very big thing.
Yeah.
It's a very big thing. I would think that I would have thought that she would have put it in the government's name. There's nothing wrong with the project. She didn't do anything. I mean, the fact that they constructed something to help the Liberian people, that was fine.
That's fine.
But to come and start claiming it, and she took it from her husband, because even buckets were named in this man's name. Coronavirus bucket, Weah project. They were owning buckets, hand pumps. They will go do hand pumps and say Weah project. And you are president of the country, and everything you see that your project. No president in the history of this country should come after. Even the current president moving forward should start claiming this pressing project, Boakai project, or the next pressing project. It should never ever happen again.
But Patrick, have you heard? I'm curious, Patrick, have you heard Boakai's project since President Boakai came to power? Or any government project?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Okay. And that's why I said this is a new style of governance.
Okay.
That, of course, people will emulate. Not only Liberia, light poles. Somebody just saying this. Even light poles, how we are project. Amen. Light poles, how we are project. So why wouldn't this woman claim this property? And even in that video that you played, in the video that you played, she's clearly indicating
that right.
Funding, she gathered some funding. And not only that, we're also getting some sources for which those funding came from the government. So this is a long investigation. Tomorrow, BMC is to appear because they were subpoenaed. They're supposed to appear. Let's follow up on this and see where this is going. But I would like to say that the asset recovery has a task. President Bouakai did not establish asset recovery for asset recovery's sake. That asset recovery, you see, that was established as a tax to recover, retrieve, recover
in the name
assets in the name of the country. And I hope that they will do so.
Okay, well, Honorable Pierre, we're going to come to you. The issue here for me, if Mo Ali uses his office to raise money, and then he takes that money to put more water pipes across Liberia, too many Liberians may not have a problem with it, although sometimes there may be some legal issues there, especially if he's doing it on the confines of that. But if Mo Ali uses that money to build his own condominium all over Liberia, Honorable Pierre, is that a problem there legally? Don't tell me you're not a lawyer, but I'm talking about common sense.
So one of the reasons why the Code of Conduct requires that when you take a public office, you should declare your asset is to know what you were worth prior to coming to government.
That's right.
If you know what you were worth prior to coming to government, and they know what your earnings are, and all of a sudden you try to accrue properties that are worth millions, that you could work for the next 100 years and you will not have that kind of money. The law also authorizes the LACC to investigate those kinds of questionable acquisition of massive wealth. Even though we do see that the emphasis is always on somebody being accused, they investigating, somebody being doing this. Investigations by them should not always and all the time be based on investigating somebody because somebody accused them. They are supposed to run their activity in such a way that people give them tangible information about things that are going on that they can have their attention called to. So, for example, people get their attention and say, Jerome Pia is doing this. He just built 20 stores that he's about to commercialize. He has built 200 apartment complex and or whatever it is. And then they start asking the set of questions. What is the pay of a minister? And the figure, did he declare during the asset declaration period that he was also a businessman and establish the value and worth of the business? No. If he didn't, and he tried to accrue all these stuff just on the count of his occupation of public office, the law says they should conduct an investigation to know what is going on. I'm saying all this to say, prior to former President we are becoming president, the visible properties he had here that we could lay our eyes on, he ran a sports store that collapsed along the way. He established a football team that disintegrated and did not survive. He had his 9th Street building in the rehab. Those were things that you could easily trace to him. In Florida, I'm told he had a home there. So if those were the things he had, and he didn't look at all like somebody who was a rich man because everybody could see the struggles he was moving through. And then condominiums were built, 47. I have passed around the place called the Clark Foundation structure because I went to see some friends in Marshall one time, and the person was closer to that place. The gigantic nature of the project, and you running it as a foundation, rings a lot of bells. So all the asset recovery thing has done, since their goal is to retrieve stolen assets, is to ask some hard questions about that property. Maybe if the property was a state-owned property, they would not have been tempted to ask the hard question.
Yeah.
But because the property is owned, and don't forget, during the
look at the screen.
Yeah, the home is in Plantation, Florida. It was
foreclosed. Yeah, it was actually foreclosed before he became president. He could not pay for it. I remember the city has so many fines on the house for not even cutting the grass.
All right. So during the WIA era, BMC owned by some Lebanese are undertaking all the construction contracts from government, whatever the reasons were. And the asset recovery team has got information to the effect that they had a contract for the foundation. And so since they are investigating to establish facts about the foundation, they wanted documentation from BMC, the executor of the contract, which they perhaps have not cooperated or whatever the problem is. So they sought the intervention of Criminal Code A to compel them to provide the information. All the code has done is to say provide the information that is being required and that there will be consequences for non-compliance. The code of Monday was very clear. So at this point, no one is being accused of anything.
Right.
The law is simply being respected. Claudia is not being accused of doing any wrong or stealing. But an investigation on how she acquired such an exotic property that is not publicly owned, is private, and because the asset recovery thing is looking after stolen assets to include money, structures, and all of that, they are simply following the law. If they comply and provide the documentation that the court needs, which the asset recovery need to enhance their investigation, then we see where you go from there. But we have all said we want a nation that is accountable. So if people are not authoritarian, if they are not draconian and moving on people and taking extrajudicial action, then we should be concerned. But if people are using the courts to pursue the things they want to pursue, then we should think the country is on the right course, it's on the right trajectory, and we must respect it, because we've always said rule of law is a fundamental principle that must guide our nationhood. We saw all that cliche being used here when the crises were on in the legislature. We've always also used this line that Liberia is a country of laws and not of men. So let's allow the law to flow, because there's one thought that says strict adherence to the rule of law is a surest way of maintaining peace, security, and stability. So all of us should commit ourselves to respecting the law. And when the law is being used to enhance investigation, it's just not correct to always jump to this conclusion about which home, Windsor homes, and whatever it is. Let's give these processes time to unfold. And listening to the short video you played before then, even justifies the concern of the LACC in pursuing the investigation they are pursuing, because her own voice, her own words admits that she was just not some kind of money person. And sometimes in communication, we are not careful how we use words. And then she was trying to clarify to say not in a negative way, but exploitation in itself is negative. And
Can I ask you a quick question?
When you say in your capacity as first lady, you exploited the situation, there's no better way you can put it to me anything positive other than negative.
Yeah, I'm listening to you, but I just want to ask a quick question to you. So what if this investigation establishes, because Madam Claudia in that clip that Tualu just played indicated clearly that her husband used to go and ask friends, when she's talking about friends, she means presidents.
Yeah.
Ask them for support and they give it. That is her account of the source of funding from that clip, right?
Correct.
What if any investigation shows that government funding, sources of funding came from government ministries and agencies? It contradicts that. What if that happen?
Criminal. No, but in the first place, Patrick, in the first place, the president could not have been requesting people for gift, because the law restrains the extent of gift that a public official can receive.
Exactly.
So if the president wanted to ask his friends to assist him, those friends could only assist without trouble the country. Meaning, if you wanted to undertake a government project and you don't have money, you can ask your friends, and a friend can give money to the government, not you. But if you are asking them and they're giving you, it means they're giving you gift. And there are clear regulations and laws on the extent to which we in the public space can receive gift. So that would not even suffice. You cannot have received gift from your friends personally and invested into an infrastructure that you call Cloud Foundation.
Can I ask?
In your capacity as president and in her capacity as first lady, you were not qualified, both of you were not qualified for those gifts. If the gifts were coming, they were coming for the country. So if we should surmise that she's correct that gifts came, it means those gifts came to the country and were diverted to personal use.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre. Nanuga to you. Fadika, welcome to the show. Nanuga before I go to Mo.
There are 4 quadrants to this. 1, first lady. 2, president. 3rd dimension, Timothy Weah. 4th dimension, solicitation. Now, all surrounds government officials. Government official, president of Liberia, that's government official. Wife influences government, president, go and obtain. Minister of Information just told you there's a limit to how much a gift can be valued for an individual. Then it comes to the country. Now, Cloud Foundation, is it in partnership with Timothy Weah? Question. It's a lot of unveiling that I see allowing the asset recovery to say, let's go to the roots, ownership of property, contract issuance, agreement between 2 parties, because you are saying the foundation and Timothy are 2 different people. At the end of the day, Patrick, to even further answer the question that the minister just answered, is that if, in all fairness, there was a single cent added to what was solicited outside, then it brings in a double jeopardy crisis on the former first lady, because the contribution made by people outside has to be accounted for, since it's government's money. Then government took her own high-end budget, public money, and added it into that. It becomes suicidal if it's found to have been built on a private property. I pray to God it's not what it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mo Ali, we're going to come to you. Let's establish this fact. If the government money is in this project, that's government property. If this project was built by solicitation using the government office, it's still linked to the government. So either way, Mo Ali, there is an issue here, but I want people to understand that. Look, I said this from the beginning. I appreciate Cloud Weah for building this foundation. For me personally, I was under the impression this belongs to the Republic of Liberia for the kids, or I believe orphanage home or older people home that she was building. That's what I understood, that it was in the name of the Liberian government. Mo Ali, either side, it could pose a problem, but we are going through the court. Is the right way to do. Your comment on this issue?
Thank you, Dwalu. I don't know why my computer takes a little bit of time to unmute. Yeah, the first thing, I would hope that the asset recovery team will conduct a speedy investigation, and I will also hope that the Cloud Weah Foundation, the owners, or those who operate in it, and all the other people who could be considered witnesses will comply, so that the team can get to the bottom of it. Yeah, so when you solicit in the name of the government, in the name of the country, it is not for you personally, it is for the country. If in any way there was, even if there were 25% or 50% government funds used from government entity or in whatever way, then it becomes a problem. But it would be good to know, who are the owner, or who is the owner of the property. So the first establishment there, because is that who is the owner? Because for the asset recovery team to go after it, I believe they may have seen some documents that the government of Liberia is not the owner. Because if it were in the name of the government, then by this time we'll be talking about government recovering it from them if they did not loan aid or concession aid to someone that they did with the pact. You see, the pact, they're in the name of the government or the city, but what they did smartly, they loaned it out to people, they concession it out to people for many years. Now they are in court with the government for government to recover from these people because they believe that the contracts were not signed the right way. So that one, you're not going to go after, you won't go after anybody to say, oh, we're recovering this property because it's already for government. So what they're doing is looking into the details of the contracts. In this case, for the asset recovery team to start going after it, it suggests to me that there is something that shows them that it is not in the name of the government. And to also go after it means that they may have got some preliminary evidence to show that government resources, either through solicitation using the name of the government or directly from government, was used to construct the property. So either way is going to be a little bit of problem, or is going to be a huge problem. And we want to talk to our people on this note. The government was elected. One of the key campaign points, and the good thing is, almost all of us here was involved in the campaign. One of the key points in the campaign was to fight corruption and to bring to book people who are believed to have been engaged into corrupt acts in the Weah government. At a certain point in time, people started saying, oh, the government is not serious about fighting corruption. They are reneging on that campaign promises. Look, when they start to go after people who are perceived to have been corrupt on the basis of evidence that either the Justice Ministry or the LACC or the asset recovery team has gathered, the next thing they will start to say is witch hunt, or it's a political witch hunt, or they are politically pursuing opposition figures. But don't listen to them, because these are the same people who were saying, or who are saying, that the Unity Party lie on them. They've been challenging the government to say, and when you are in opposition, you say, we stole, so why are you not prosecuting us? It means that you lie on us. Just the other day, I listened to Senator Nathaniel McGill. I mean, you are saying, oh, any Unity Party people say 3 missing board, that we don't want kill them, that we don't want to do them. Why they not prosecuting anybody? Now, when the government gathers evidence and begin to drag them to court, the next thing they will say, oh, it's a political witch hunt. We should not allow people to keep shifting the goalposts. It is not political witch hunt. If you didn't do any wrong, you go free. Yeah. Nobody is hunting you before you will be witch. You now wished to be witch hunted. You know, so that's my thought about this entire.
Thank you so much. And to my brother Fadiga, coming to you, my brother James David, I'm going to say this. If Honorable Bouaka is building houses in Foya County, Lofa County, and is determined that he used government money and then he said that he owned property, I want government to take it from him too. He's not a sacred cow for me, and a government official for that matter. I don't care if you leave government and you use government money. Yeah, the government take it from you. I have no qualms about this. But what I want people to understand, we cannot be comfortable with people using their official position and then they exploit that position to the detriment of the country. And when the country comes down to ask questions and we cleanse wish home, come after me if I took government money. I have no qualms about that whatsoever. Fadiga, your thought on this comment regarding the Claire Hope Foundation. Like I said before, Fadiga, I thought we're saying the Liberian government need, but then what I'm hearing now is kind of a little bit tricky for me.
Look, one thing that I've not heard, that office had a budget, I think of $1.5 million. And this is not the first time we have seen this. Back in 2006, George Weah, former President Weah, started a foundation called Weah Children Foundation. I don't know whether any children or people ever benefited from it. It was Weah himself as president, Claire Weah as vice president, and then her brother Michael Duncan as second vice president. And they did a lot of raising of money, and nobody saw those things. So there's a pattern here. I don't think following the law is anything wrong. We live in a society where people can form their own perception and stick to it, and we try to politicize things. I think the asset recovery need to do more publicity and more awareness. I think they need to continue to inform, because our population, there are some gullibility within our population, and I think the public need to be they need to get a clear messaging on what they are doing, why they are doing it, and where they want us to go. Because I see how this thing can easily degenerate into something else. They need to be very clear with the messaging, because we live in the age of new media where people can put a spin on even the best of situation.
That's right.
So Councilor Martin was here the other time. I hope that was not just one-off, that we should see it in the notion that, look, whether you like it or not, it is the time. These are the time where misinformation and fake news is thriving, and with the AI age. So people will put out information there. They need to be ahead of the game. Let them be very clear on what they are doing, why they are doing it. Let the public know. Because people are here, they will do a false equivalence. Presidential villa. Look, how can this man be building a presidential villa when he has lived in the same house for over, I don't know, almost 30 plus years? That is not someone that is flamboyant that 50 years. The man that have this huge appetite for wealth, the man that is flamboyant, the man that in less than 100 days in office built a mini city, a bulldoze his home. These are the kind of people, and we saw that through all the administration. Those guys, they were very reckless. There were no moderation in the way they used the country wealth. And Claire, we are just happen to be one of them. So it's not just the officials, but people that, and the fact that the asset recovery going after this, I'm sure where there is smoke, there is some fire. And if it is on her private property, it is in her private name, we need to know where the money came from. Because let us know that this lady had a budget. This lady had access to Liberia money, even though the code of conduct does not explicitly talk about first lady, but she is also considered a public official. So she needs to be scrutinized. I don't see any wish on here. I just hope that they will comply with the law and follow everything. And if she's guilty, if she's free, she's free. But if something there, I think those properties should be confiscated, and that shouldn't be the first or the last. More, even for the 8 condominiums and all those different private ventures that they went undertook should also be scrutinized.
Yeah, I know we're in Liberia, we don't hesitate. I want to not just, if this turns out that it was used fraudulently, not just confiscation, there should be jail time as well. That's just me. Sometimes we hesitate in Liberia to say that. But I want to say this to you. I'm going to come to you, Patrick. You know, and I want to advise my brother in the opposition. When y'all use the word wish hunt over and over, it loses its value. If the government is going through the court process where the entire country can see something that our constitution has designed to show how we can determine the truth, this is the proper way to do it. And I want to say this additionally, I want people to understand this very, very well. The government of the Republic of Liberia is on an obligation by the law to determine every single money where that money went that belongs to Liberia. It is their duty to do so. It is a requirement under our constitution. So if the government doing its job, you should champion that as well, because that's going to improve your life. Patrick, let me ask you this question. If Patrick Hona can come to government, and then Patrick does whatever he wants to do, and then Patrick pushes in his name, say, well, at least I bet it in this country, and everything you're telling me that wish on. What does that do to Man Kevin all the way in Barclayville in San Luis County? Because I want us to drive this point home so that people understand the correlation between this kind of behavior.
People depend on the adage in Liberia that says, when you touch one, you touch all. So that kind of mentality, so even the poorest of the poor would say, okay, yeah, you touch. After not knowing anything, being part of anything, but you just say, you touch one, you touch all. So because of that, they try as much as possible to do anything they want to do and say, I did it, at least I did it. But there is something troubling as well that we having, maybe that's another phase of this whole discussion. And that has to do with the courts. So let me premise this. You remember sometimes last year, the asset recovery took Gracious Ride.
That's right.
Or attempted to seize Gracious Ride's property, those vehicles that I don't even see nowadays in the traffic.
They put it rock off.
It went to the courts. It took more than 8 months until Liberians got so frustrated with the asset recovery. All of Oya got frustrated with the asset recovery. More than 8 months, mind you. The government is 3 branches: the executive, judiciary, and the legislative branches of government. In the judiciary, which is a component of the government, it took 8 months. It took 8 months to dispose of that case. This is what's happening. The current case, the asset recovery forwarded to court, has now gone to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has placed a stay order in the case involving Mrs. Comfort Telmon, I think that's her name, Sawyer. And once there is a stay on that case, it affects all those, according to lawyers that I've spoken with, involved. So that means there is now a stay on the cases the asset recovery have been forwarding to court, because she is not in one indictment. They did 2 sets of indictments so far. The first set of indictment came up with Maxwell Kimia and that group. The next set of indictment came up recently with Finabondo and that group. She's part of that as well. I understand next week the Supreme Court will hear the case, the stay, but we're just saying that we need to keep our eyes on the judiciary. That firstly, that particular case took 8 months. There should be no delay, because justice delayed is justice denied. Every time there is a push to recover assets, every time there is a push to hold people accountable, we see delays in the name of judicial prudence. It's good to follow the rule of law. It's good for judicial prudence, but we are kindly appealing to the judiciary that even those who are indicted want their names to be cleared. So you're getting a chance for them to clear their name. Instead of holding cases there, acting like then we close for the other term of court, you're waiting for another term of March term of court again to come, and all those kinds of delayed tactics by the time you make up your mind in 2026. I just need to flag this issue because I want us to keep our eyes on the courts, my people. They can carry any kind of case down there. If the courts delay those cases, we achieve nothing.
The Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. Who's the current Chief Justice? What's his name? Who's the current Chief Justice? Yeah, Mr. Bese. Sometimes Mr. Bese, the judges on the Supreme Court, your legacy is very important. I don't know what sometimes you guys think about your legacy. The entire country now rest before your feet. I'm not even saying before your bench, because the same people in the judiciary want people to worship them before they can do the job. They say, oh, we begging them. Me, I don't beg them. Let them do the job because we pay them very handsomely. And you take cases, you just hold it in the courts. Nothing comes from inside. It just sit down there, just sit down there, just sit down there. The intentional delay, people will claim that it's delayed because they are being bribed. And the international community should listen to some of these things that are happening in the country. If you sit on the court, expedite these cases. In fact, speedy trial on our jurisprudence is constitutional. It requires constitutional order. You have to be speedily tried through the court. If it just sit there and say that this is not justice, Mr. Onanuga, let me ask you this question.
But how long does it take to adjudicate one case, Dualu? How long should it take? How long
They'll
does it
always
take
come up with their excuse, or you're not a lawyer. I can read, I can write.
Yeah,
The
law,
law,
we can find out. How long
anybody
does it
can find
take
out.
to adjudicate a corruption case or a
They
murder
take
case? Or
forever
something?
intentionally, and these judges, basically, you got a legacy. I mean, just think about when you were in some kind of Zane round school, way behind your video, wherever you're coming from, Mr. Wizzy. You used to say, oh, they put on capital here, they are corrupt. Now you have the opportunity to help us change the system, and you just sit down on the case. You'll sit down on cases for months. Patrick, in this country, when you after you get indicted, it takes on average 67 days for you to go to court with a felonious case. 67 days. Once you enter the court, 2 weeks to 30 days, you're adjudicated. Average, once there's an indictment, within 1 year, the whole case finished. But in our country, people just sit there for years and years. They put Latin inside. You get many Irish, we say passing around speaking all kind of Latin. That don't make no sense. Let me move on that time. Make on the go stick on the case. All about Nanuga, some couple of years back, or maybe a year or two ago, Nathaniel McGill was in somewhere in Magibi County. He said the police are steal. Let's say I steal. The horse why bear, why die, will not leave it here. Is that a justification for somebody to steal from government or what, Danuga? Because these justifications are killing us.
So if you stole $1 million, and that $1 million you stole, you use it to build a mighty mansion somewhere. Yes, it's true, when you die, it's going to be right there, but your family is going to benefit and not the people.
Thank you.
But if you took $1 million and invested it in the people at $4,000, you build 250 boreholes. That's the difference. 250 boreholes will cater to maybe 1,000 communities. And 1,000 communities may have 10 persons each, which tells you that you cater to 10,000 individuals in those communities with 250 boreholes. It means that river blindness will be taken away from that community. It means that the health sector will not be under duress because people will not run there for dysentery, for different kind of enzymes in the tummy that's obtained from the same water they use to wash their clothes, is the same water they use to bathe with that hard kanga soap. So his words are insignificant to the trust placed in government officials to use the service opportunity given them to serve the people properly and provide their basic needs. So it does not hold water. It doesn't make sense. Only a professional rogue who have got no conscience because they have stolen too much and conscience have derailed their human capacity to survive would think that if I steal and I invested in myself, in my country, you shouldn't blame me because I'm going to leave whatever I invested in right in my country. Truth be told, we need to hunt. And that's what I always say. Christopher Hayes Onanuga sitting out here is not immune from President Joseph Boakai sacking and transfer to LECC and the Justice Ministry of Prosecution. So we owe one thing to ourselves, that if we choose to serve, we must serve and not take the position to serve and be masters, because it does not work in a two-way street. The other day, if that $1 million was given to Mo Ali, we're calculating what it costs to run 1 kilometer of pipes, proper pipes. That's $1 million. So in all fairness, whatever he said is another tabata. That doesn't make sense.
Mo Ali, let's come to it before we go to our brother Fadiga. We have spoken about this issue about people. Look, the likes of Tomafala that build massive structure. The building Liberia is not cheap. In fact, almost maybe everybody on the platform has built something in Liberia. It is one of the most expensive places to build in the sub-region over there. It is not cheap. So when people are building these things are not commensurate to their salary or where additionally they're getting money from. I'm going to make this very clear though. If Dwalu here works in government and Dwalu steal money and buy plenty truck, and then that truck give me money, I'm able to build my thing, then I can claim that the money what I use to build my facility coming from my truck, that's not how it can work. I cannot steal a bad truck then I say I open my trucking company, then the money what I'm making I save from my truck. No, that is still stealing money, still continuing like that. They will say the man hasn't been convicted before in the court of law, Mo Ali. And sometimes in Liberia, what can really bother me the most is the very vulnerable people that are truly being taken advantage of, that they see people will be in the street, you're wish wanting the people. Anybody touch them, they touch us. More. How do we explain to these people that they're the ones that are being exploited by these very government officials that don't have any pity on them whatsoever? When I see my Sidician brothers that are mostly malnourished, they're dropping out of school, can barely feed themselves, and they're defending people that have taken so much from them. How do we address this? Mo, you're muting?
Okay. I know a road, hello, man.
I know a road more today. So, anyway,
no, I'm here now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Dralo, I lost track a little bit. I was trying to check on my 36-inch pipe. Please, just
let me repeat the question, the last portion. The very people that are affected the most. When I see my brothers from the CDC side saying, this is wish hunt, if you touch anybody, a president, we are still, you touch your property, you touch all we coming after your Joe Bagger, we do this to him. Even though I don't care about that basic threat. But my issue here is the people that are most affected in our country. They are defending their tormentors. How does that make sense to them?
So, you see, Dwalu, the issue about fighting corruption, it has to start with changing our mentality. So in Liberia, you are corrupt if you work honestly and manage your earnings well. You are described as either being corrupt or me. In Liberia, in the mind of many people, you are a good man if you stole their money and give them peanuts. Like, for example, people come to your gate in the morning, early morning, and you're stealing from the government and give them some money. To them, you are a good man. And it is these things that help to actually brew corruption. Because if I'm earning honestly in government and you come to me, I say, honestly, I don't have it. Then you carry the news that this man is mean. And the notion there is that once you are working in government, you get money. That one is a common notion in Liberia. Let me narrate the story, then I'll come to your question. An older person went to me, an older man, and said, I need help. I said, with why? He said, I want $250. I said, Papa, it's tough. I don't have that money. He said, oh, my man, you can't say that. He said, you hold MD, just write note. Just write small note and send it to your finance people. They will bring the money. So I asked him, I said, who told you that? He said that it can happen in the government entity then. So I told him, I said, well, maybe it used to happen like that, but it doesn't happen like that here anymore. And so If I am stealing, for example, and giving people, tomorrow when you say the man was stealing, they will say you lie. The man are good man. Because we don't care. And so these people, when they're saying, oh, it's a witch hunt, it's political, going after people, the government is going after people who are perceived to be political, perceived to have been corrupt with some evidence. Then you hear people who benefited or people who they were giving peanuts to. So you're leading man. The time the man was there, the man used to give out money, the man used to do this. So that whole fighting corruption, we first, Minister Pierre, they got whole work to do. First need to try to change the mindset of the people. That look, going to somebody and giving you $10 and they're stealing more, they're not being good. They are only trying to cover up what they are doing. And they use you as the person who will defend them by giving you a little. That's why you hear people now saying, oh, the Unity Party, government official, then they me. I'm sure you've heard that so many places here.
So many places.
So if I am working, I have children, I make my budget. Every month, my budget, I have a certain amount there. You know, I don't want to call it charity, but to give out to people. I got students on scholarship and all this kind of thing. When that one is exhausted and you come, I say it's not there, you carry my name, you say, oh, the other UP government official, me and this and that. Well, that's okay. And then that's when the threats begin to come. You will see, in 2020 now coming, that 2020 now come. The government job here, then our partner. The government job here enough for us. Other people were there, they left. Other people came, they left. We are there today, tomorrow we will leave. Now, even if the Unity Party were to win, there is nothing that guarantees that we will remain in the position. In fact, there is nothing that guarantees that Mo Ali will remain managing director of Water and Sewer until Joseph Boakai says year finishes. There's nothing that guarantees that Jerolimbe Pia will remain Minister of Information until Joseph Boakai says year finishes. No, that's not how it looks. So, win or not, you should threaten us if we are not doing the right thing. Don't threaten us when we are doing the right thing. So people who pass around and say, oh, that we shown, and we get ordinary people defending them, you're not doing well for the fight against corruption. And
that's what I want to get across.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody got to fight. Everybody got to come to you. Everybody going to fight. Everybody, not just the people in government or the president or the courts. The very citizens themselves, if you continue to shield people who've stolen from you, and more before, I'm going to share the quick story. One of the little girls that used to be dancing on the stage at CDC party headquarters, they live in my community, and I used to talk to them during the election, and I got most of them to vote for President Boakai. So they will call me, Uncle Ba, and I easy, you buy me one burger rare. I said, hey, man, I thought I buy one burger rare the last morning. Hey, Uncle Ba. But then I was talking to her. I said, well, why am I buy it? I just bought you burger rare the last time. And she said, Uncle Ba, Joe, we had time the money was floating. Uncle Ba, you go to the party headquarters, they're supposed to get the money in bus. The country was all right at that time. Fatiga. For our people to think that is all right. How can we disabuse their minds that this is not just dangerous? That's a way for them to be permanently in poverty. That means that children will have no future. The better way is to build the system the way Honorable Boakai doing it. Yes, there will be a little price to pay up front, but that price, your children's lives and your life will be much, much better. Leave the $20 that don't belong to you, that a man is stealing from you. Fatiga, how can we make that make sense to our people? Especially to the young girl that said, I used to dance on stage at CDC party headquarters.
What those guys did, and they were very clever. There were no
real thought process put into a lot of things that it did. But most of the things that it did were political tokens, like the free tuition to LU, the WAGS fee, the different supplemental payroll that they had. They're just giving people $75 a year, their mobile money, just so they can do the right thing. They put a lot of people into poverty. Look, Bralu, the government is doing all we can right now. Look, it will take time until we can get our people to start working again and get them to be busy. All these things will happen. We have to get them. So this is what this government is doing. There have been series of constraints that have impeded the progress of past administration, even this government, the administration. We're talking about infrastructure, roads. We're talking about electricity and access to financing. Those have been major constraints. If you look at the budget of this government, and you look at everywhere the government is redirecting the effort, we are seeing that we are tackling some of these constraints. And some of those constraints are interwoven with so many other things. Now that the roads are coming there, people will be easily bringing things from the rural area and coming. You see some movement there. Market women are bringing the things, people moving. Gas price going down. Pimping Rada, I saw today they will be at the December 6th to show the solidarity with the government that they are not in queues for loan line. So the business hour, Dwalo, I can tell you, supermarkets are closing after 10 o'clock now. That insecurity that was there, we are seeing it that is kind of slowly fading. People are not going to bed, rushing to go home 6 o'clock. So the business cycle went from 8 hours to at least close to 16 hours now. Some area people up 24 hours. If you go to Dupo Road right now, Dupo Road is like the 18, like a series of bars going all the way even to the junction. So we are seeing these economic activity, apart from us moving from to the 1.11 billion, 1.2 billion, 1 billion, 1.2 billion actually. Now we are seeing these things. So gradually it will happen once we start seeing that we start to tackle these constraints like energy right now. Once electricity gets stable, companies going to start finding it easy to start moving the hours up. So that's the only way it's going to happen naturally. There will be a domino effect. There is no real magic wand to solve this thing. Of course, we have to continue to educate our people about the whole dependency. But Dwalo, I'll close on this. You might want to ask yourself, why is it that a young, unproductive man in Africa will go to the West, go to the US, and all of a sudden he's doing 8 hours, doing 34, he's doing a double, he's doing a triple, because society demands that. Yeah. They want to enjoy the amenity, they want to enjoy the electricity. Now we have stable electricity. Now what people are talking about is affordability. How can I afford it? How can you move from putting $5, $20 current to $100 to have 24 hours? People will gradually start to want more and want to work for it. And that's the only real natural solution apart from something. So gradually this area will fade away. I hope that those guys don't come back to plunge this country down and we don't reverse the gain that we have made. We can go up to 2 billion, 3 billion when we start seeing real development and people start coming back to work. That's the only solution. But
I agree with you. I agree with you. One of the reasons why I decided to come on this platform is to fight for 6 years to make sure Liberia continues on that proper path. We can't make that mistake again. This guy has no business near the presidency. Brother Davis, I see your position. I agree. Young people have to go to work. Even Fadiga, myself, we talk about this every single time to make sure we create job. And I hope the previous administration had thought about job as well and not try to bastardize our children into believing that handout is the only way to go. There are avenues being created. This government recognizes this. Look, let me play this short video. About 37 seconds to understand some of the progress being made. The market women are getting access. This is very important. They are making more money because the roads are becoming more pliable. These are the kind of connections we are talking about. This is growth. Young people in the country, like I said, the reason why I came on the network is for you to open your eyes. You cannot depend on Mo Ali to give you small thing. You got to raise your own family. You can't do that. The previous administration, they really did you. They hurt you more than you would ever know. Some of you guys were not for to see it. Your job is not to sing job behind somebody. Your job is to also want a future. Listen to this young woman.
Because as we all know, for the past years, we used to spend like 2 to 3 days on this road. But for this year, it's okay. From Monrovia all the way to the southeast, we spend less than 24 hours. Depends the car that you will take, depends the driver. Because the road condition, the pavement of the road condition have helped us in that direction. So at least we are accessible to getting to our locations on time, where our goods can get damaged and other things. So that's it.
And look at 6 years ago, what we were focused on. This was nothing but lie. All over the country was nothing but lie. I don't want to play these videos, but sometimes it's worth reminding people some of the nonsense that were being spewed before. And I will literally play it.
The dreams begun. In my dreams, I began to see this island being developed as a shining new city across the water from the squalor of my slum. I began to see a new Monrovia rising from the ashes of the old city. In my dreams, I saw skyscraper, office building, shopping mall, banks, insurance companies, restaurants, shining lights and beautiful colors. And above all, in my dream, I saw happy, prosperous people going about their business and meeting and greeting each other. And the dream has never left me, even today.
This is the stuff that was being spewed 6 years ago.
Who even building that? Who even wrote in that dream?
The man I said dream.
We are the dreamer.
The man I said dream. The man said dreams.
Yeah.
My dreams.
Look,
whoever wrote in those dreams did not do well for him.
That man will work out soon in the morning when he finished with the Hennessy XO. Look, me tell you, DJ, where is it?
I have a dream.
Where is it? One
day, Bali Island will be the biggest Miami ever.
You know,
I have
this
a
is
dream.
what the thing we talk about country. Seditions, young Liberians, you talk your country. Thank God most of your 70% of sedition album are open, and this gives me great joy. Me, I know we're no longer going back to that. Not because I just want to say this. Look, a few months ago, we were talking about Hotel Africa. There was a lot of issue out there. The government is having some consideration.
Difficult. Dualu, stop. PI, please tell the school.
I'm not leading man.
School for what?
Imagine you're watching.
Watching Real Madrid and Olympiacos in the photo.
Continue.
Okay, guys. So we were the thing is very important, guys. We were talking about our people up to Hotel Africa. Although they were not supposed to be on the land, the president did not forget them. He recognized that there are issues. Sometimes these people have to be moved. There are consideration given to them now that hopefully they can get in small teams so they can be able to move so the government can develop that area. This is where you want young people in the country, somewhere that can uplift the country and create jobs for yourself. Listen to DJ Blue as he's talking to these people. They understand they don't belong on the government property. So if anybody tries to politicize it, tell them the government is making tremendous improvement. This is what we want.
I am playing your ticket, but I beg your being here. You set up us so we can move. Hear that message? So let me tell you something. You see the mark, where the mark in your office? It's very important. You got that mark in there, just in case, for compensation or relocation package, and that marking can go back. So nobody must stop nobody from marking.
Thank you very much.
That's cool again.
Leadership calls for empathy. And this is what you see. Onobananu guy in the comment towards that. Start making preparation, Harris, to come on so we can hear from our people. Onobananu guy.
So I have worked with Honorable Blue for quite some time. And in fact, I can see we're still communicating as we're talking online. And he's been very clear on what happens with the situation on the Hotel Africa property. He's aware that Hotel Africa is a government property and that under the Ministry of State, and one day maybe tourism may take it over. But the key thing is that there are human beings living there, and we must have a human face to what we do. And he made it clear to them that at no time is it that compulsory that government will do this, but we're going to make sure we make an effort to get it done.
That's right.
And because he knows that times are hard and humans have babies, their children, there are so much to do, it's going to be difficult. Just say move, then you're moving them into the rain. Some people commit suicide.
That's right.
So the human side of it is what the government saw and said, it's a good case. This is not politics. This is about humans' lives. And then several things we did, and he spoke, and he led this revolution to see how the people are giving something in replacement for anything. So this one, I would not take it from him. This one, I would say it was a good cause without agitation or bloodshed, without compulsory fight. If you don't do it, we'll do this. No. And what it has reached to now, it can only be a clear show that all parties in government can work to get results. You can see him explaining the code of conduct to the people in a special way, and they're buying the idea. Nobody's frowning. In fact, they are clapping. That clear code. Everybody say, yeah, we understand. Thank you for giving us. And you know what happened in that thing is that the guy who was doing the video was showing the people, showing Blue talking, but showing the area of concern. And that's to tell you that all dimension was cut in one place. So the least I would say is government has done extremely well to do the right thing for its citizens who had occupied this place. It could have been burned.
That's right.
But it's still standing. So we can all say kudos to all sides, and we say God bless Liberia for the best.
Okay, Claire Weah Foundation just issued a release, and I want to read it live for the public. And let's do it justice because we spoke about this very issue. It's concerning. For immediate release, we have operated with integrity and professionalism. Claire Hope Foundation rejects politically motivated allegation. Here we go again. Everything is politically motivated. It reads, Monrovia, November 26, 2025. The Claire Hope Foundation, founded by former First Lady Claire Marie Weah, acknowledges receipt of the communications from the government of Liberia Asset Recovery Team announcing an investigation into the acquisition of the foundation's Marshall Complex. The letter cites a mandate to ensure that public resources are not converted to private use. The former First Lady and the foundation are taken aback by this development. Mrs. Weah's life work in Liberia before, during, and after her service as First Lady has been grounded in a deep desire to uplift Liberia children, empower vulnerable communities, and give back meaningfully to the country she firmly considers her home. It is disheartening that her genuine commitment and years of humanitarian service are now being clouded by baseless insinuations simply because some cannot conceive that a person will invest so much of her own resources to improve the lives of others. The Claire Hope Foundation has operated with absolute integrity, professionalism, and strict adherence to the law. The foundation therefore finds it troubling that the government of Liberia will initiate an investigation based on unsubstantiated claims that the government of Liberia funds were used to acquire and develop the foundation's property without first examining the allegation source of those funds, which would naturally be the government itself. Let me read that again, because this is concerning. I'm going to read that again. Liberia will initiate investigation based on unsubstantiated claim. Government of Liberia funds were used to acquire and develop the foundation property without first examining the alleged source of their fund, which would naturally be the government itself. Instead, the foundation is being asked to provide evidence for acts that never occur, effectively inviting it to fabricate wrongdoing against its own institution. What? The foundation categorically rejects this politically motivated action, which appear designed to malign the hard-earned reputation of Mrs. Weah and undermine the credibility of an organization dedicated to serving Liberia's most vulnerable. Mrs. Weah assures the public that she will leave no stone unturned in defending her name, her legacy, and the integrity of her work. Her long record speaks for itself, marked by numerous charitable initiatives that have provided hope, dignity, opportunity to children, young women, and distinguished communities across Liberia. The formal starting of the foundation management only confirms the political undercurrent, orchestrated attempts at intimidation, that the foundation that endure since opening its door last year, from directives discouraging officials from attending its foundation to punitive action taken against those who show support. Therefore, while disappointing, the launch of this investigation comes as no surprise. The foundation is fully aware of the focus working to tarnish its image. Yet, these allegations cannot withstand scrutiny in an incredible forum. Consistent with our long-standing practice of transparency and accountability, the Claire Hope Foundation will make all relevant documents available as required by the law and will fully exercise its legal right throughout this process. Finally, the foundation assures all donors, supporters, partners, and beneficiaries that we will not be deterred by the forces of negativity and political darkness seeking to undermine our mission. Our commitment to providing hope and opportunity to destitute Liberian children remains unwavering. The Claire We Are Hope Foundation stands firm, resolute, and ready to defend its legacy of compassion, service, and integrity. Signed, Jackson P. Bombing, manager, Claire Hope Foundation. So basically, Claire, we are saying everything the government tries to do is a wish hunt, it's a lie. She got all the documentation, even though I will play this video again just for the sake of it. Even though she herself said we had no money, we didn't get anything. The government only asking where you got the money from. Let's play this.
Dalu, hold on. The rating you just read states that we are fighting ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it is government's property.
That's what she said. That's what she's trying to say now. No, you're not making a mistake.
Okay.
That's what she's trying to say. But this is Claire We Are. But then in the same letter, she says she sourced resources from elsewhere.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So let me play this one more time. Harris, come on screen. Then we can take some call after this conversation. After this message from Claire We Are herself, that she had no money before, and hopefully she can just speak to the court. But on We Are, this is not a wish hunt. I think this is the right thing to do for transparency. Like I said, I commend you tremendously for this, for constructing this. But if it has any kind of quick G along the line, they probably have the right to know. Let me play this.
No, I didn't. Many people say, why wasn't she doing that before? How did I? I'm a simple woman. I don't have the income. I don't have. So now I got the platform as a first lady where I can exploit it. And when I say exploit it in a positive way where I can help people. And in the sense of being a first lady in Liberia, there's not enough income to help me to do this. So what I did, I have a great husband who has a lot of contacts internationally. That is the truth. And I said to him, I want to do this, but I need help. And he went out and he worked hard for me. Every time he goes somewhere, I said, can you ask your friend? And when I say friends, I'm talking about presidents and stuff.
Well, that's it then. And before we actually go to the line, I want to read this line one more time very clearly, let people understand it. The Claire We Are Foundation has operated with absolute integrity, professionalism, and strict adherence to the law. The foundation therefore finds it troubling that the government of Liberia will initiate an investigation based on unsubstantiated claims that government of Liberia funds were used to acquire and develop the foundation's property without first examining the alleged sources of these funds, which would naturally be the government itself. That's what they're stating. The comment is out there. It's online. Anybody can read it. You can go from there. So basically,
so if they could actually be funding from the government itself, how is it a personal foundation owned by Clark, named Clark Foundation, run by Clark Foundation? Government had no part to play. We just have to look, and I think they're running ahead of the house. There's an investigation going on based on a legitimate legal mandate of the asset recovery team. The asset recovery team has not accused Clark We Are Foundation of anything. The asset recovery team is trying to do an investigation. They're doing multiple investigations that they're not necessarily broadcasting. And in this case, they may have engaged BMC. It is only the lack of cooperation from BMC as surmised that brought this thing to the public, because then it took them to the court. The court now has a petition, and the court wants to go into the petition, blah, blah, blah. Now it becomes public information. But here is the first thing that I want to ask. How long has Madam Weah been married to the former president?
Over 30 years is the last time I heard him talking about it.
So in the past 30 years, you've been married to him. He played football. There were some accounts that he had 90 million plus, different figures, and they've been living in luxury as a footballer who won the Ballon d'Or, everything.
I saw him in the study.
So all through that time, she was married to her husband. She knew he came from Liberia. She didn't have the desire to bring a foundation here that would help Liberian children until after she became First Lady. And the foundation now running only after she was First Lady, that's when the property was developed and all these things.
She said she was doing it before and after.
Where?
I don't know. That's her question there.
Liberians knew that the former president was married to Clark.
Yeah.
Clark had no engagement with this country. There were many persons here who never saw her before the election. Maybe pictures, but in person, people didn't see her before the election. The elections brought her here.
That's right.
And when the election brought her here, we all could see whether she was somebody who had money or she didn't have money. The way the election brought her here, what she turned to after she became president were all different things. Now that's another thing altogether. But to want to, even things that are being done consistent with the law, issue big release talking about political maneuvering and all these things, I think is unfair. When you have these kinds of concerns and you know your conscience is clear and you know you've done no wrong, just cooperate with the process. Because the process will help you if it exonerates you.
That's right.
But if you don't want a process at all, do you want speculation and suspicion to remain hanging over you? If you don't want it, then an investigation is good. And the mere launch of an investigation is not an accusation. And it's not what they would normally call it political maneuvering, witch hunts, and all these kinds of things.
That's right.
You know, let's just do the right thing. If she has done no wrong, she has no cause to be afraid of anything.
I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely. Like
I think the press release was unnecessary because it's complicated the matter.
That's right.
It confirms that the source of the project may have been government funding.
Correct.
And if it is government funding, then the ownership cannot be private.
That's right. Absolutely right. Harris, let's take some calls from our people. We discussed the issue of the Claire Weah Foundation. Respectfully, I will continue to.
By the time you're done with your call, as you're starting, I'm departing now to.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you. Even if 2 minutes spent while considering what you do, we appreciate it, Honorable Minister. And I'm going to continue to say this over and over. We need a Claire Weah Foundation. We appreciate Claire Weah for initiating this foundation for our young people. We celebrate this. However, if it's Liberia funded, if you use an office in our government to source resources for this office, it belongs to the state. And that's plain and simple. My brother, Harris, let's take some call from our people.
Yeah, so we go to the lines and take the calls. For us in Montserrat, you call us on 0880-561-644. 0778-665-699, 0778-665-699. And for us in the counties, you call us on 0777-002-003 and 0555-002-003. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The name you called from where?
You know, my good friend, Brother Harris.
Let's hear you, Josiah. You live.
Thank you for your exclusive recognition. Josiah Suleiman from the Police Line, from our 40. You say thanks to the panelists, SG Ali, and others. You know, I read the release from Criminal Complaint today. When I read the release, I said, that's fine, we are getting somewhere through the after recovery team. So, we are not seeing what you require for yourself legitimately along with after. The idea is when you have been called for custody or go before the court, go just tell your documents and then verify your claims. If you legitimately got it, You win the case. We appreciate you that you got on well. And let me close with this. Well, our lawmaker, one lawmaker of the state number 10, they get called. Who believe he made laws under the making law? You got budget before you that you should be discussing as to how to make a lawmaker. Your district number 10 here is challenge. The rules are challenge. I thought you be discussing the budget now, finding ways forward to make a lawmaker that you can improve public work budget, that you can improve health budget, that other budget can be improved to impact lives. But you pass around now, you came to public work, public relations officer, pass around, take a photo, and you see the rule.
Okay.
You eat your parliament.
Thank you. Thank you.
And make appropriation.
Thank you, Josiah. We will leave you and talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Paris, and good evening to the panelists, Mr. Galu, and the rest of the panelists, Mr. Pierre, or Stephen Singh, Mo Ali. Good evening. Of those, this government is our government respectful, but we pray that you do this because we are always insulted for you. Because some of us, we don't know your expression. We go and Mr. Pierre or Stephen, people insult us because we then listening to this still 20 TV. And the people say we back you. But the only thing we will say as supporters from this government, for you to do the right thing, fear nothing but do the right thing that will benefit the Nigerian people.
Okay.
And Bralo, you are saying, you know, the court system in this country is bringing all these things. We cannot understand how our court system looks like. Because the public interest case, the case that public is interest, as such, we should do the justice pass. Let the public be in the know of that case.
Thank you. We'll leave you talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Paco.
Hello.
Go ahead, live. Go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to our people in the studio. I want to call Stuart Martin Coleman in the football whatever now. This structure when the former president of football. All it was the right now pay that season. The former president took our Monica Jamaica. Two other was then with the ACA was still in the ACA building. I think we have no, if you let us play home, where is the money? Is it for a new or a to the outside equality? Take us somewhere. The one that president wanted to see. Don't talk about resources. No, it's some of my governor is a for the president.
Thank you.
That's not very big. It's not our black. It's not the trouble coming up. It's not who coming up.
Okay. Thank you. We'll leave you, Paco. We'll talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello. Where you slipped off, we will leave you right there and take this call from this end. The number's 0880-561-644, 0778-665-699, 0777-002-003, and 0555-002-003. Let's hear you live.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Archie Practicing, and I call you from my senior resident.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening to Mo and good evening to the rest of the team. I'm excited about the information this evening by the outside recovery team. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. We are urging staff we are to please be calm, please cooperate with the government. We know you have good intention, but before then you never had the intention to do such a thing. You are first did it before you start to do things. So we beg you to please remain calm, please cooperate with the government, because this government being worried for the people of Nigeria. The Honorable Joseph Imam Bakar is setting the pace that our government will take tomorrow in the future. That people will stop to corrupt our country. People will stop to take in the president. And there are a lot of people who have done a lot of things. People got Tubman Harding, being after other president, and for the government like you, people got SKD complex, being after other president by the government like you, so you can do the same. It has to be a personal property. What it is for government, let it be for government. Please cooperate with the government.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. We'll leave you talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, Harry, good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear
Let me
it.
say good evening to all the panelists and His Excellency President Walker. I'm somewhat Jacob from over McGill, especially Kakata. So, let me appreciate all for reading my busy schedule to discuss national issue between our offices. I know one who fear investigation is one who feel they are done wrong. So if you do well in your stewardship or maybe your year or assignment, I don't think you'll be afraid if anybody call to be account of your stewardship. So if by tactic or maybe if the fancy excuses, it's something that I think the government should get used to. There are the same people who say the only thing, only joke about to couple the question of the people when allegation, but yeah, when you call to get account of that stewardship or stay here or 5 years, someone not giving all kind of excuses. Oh, I mean, the great actor, or all the kind of funny excuse. I mean, we're not time for that. So if you do well, I mean, during your time, you want to be afraid of anything good. I mean, the main of investigation will say as water, you wrong or you right. So the thing about wisdom, I don't think that one should be sitting in a position like by now. So we thank to everybody, and we encourage people that are in position to. We also encourage you guys to be professional, to be careful.
Thank you.
To go after the towel. I mean, people also go after to do the account of stewardship.
Thank you. We'll leave you talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Let's hear you live.
Okay, I'm Mr. Chris Kike from Partnersville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you ever so much. I also say thank you to the panelists as well. The only thing some of you have problem with the woman is very old. If the woman was a very young man, Sedition are going to regret the hour, the minute, while they have the power and they abuse the power. Mr. Mo Ali, this is Mr. Kike. You asked me to go to the office. I went there, but I'm not able to see you on Tuesday. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll leave you take more calls. This person is from this end. 0880-561-644, 0778-665-699, 0777-002-003, and 0555-002-003. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Eric.
Let's hear you live.
Thank you. Good evening to all of the panelists on the panel. This is William Covey. I joined this from this committee. Let me appreciate all of you for the very topic points to recognize and issues. Look, I think this evening my attention has been drawn to the house. I think that British people need to stop giving free money to some of these lawmakers. Imagine the budget is before the house for deliberations and other lawmakers checking in the budget to know which one will be better for the Liberian people. And you have certain lawmakers just from place to place, not even going to work. But at the end of the month, the message will ring in his phone that he has received pay. So I don't know what is the work that you're doing that you receive pay, jumping from county to county all over. Look, that free money that Honorable Yeke Kulba is speaking for the Liberian people. Even most of the days, just simply traveling from place to place, they are not even going to work. So I think that Liberian people need to be very careful with you guys. So I think the issue about people accusing the speaker that interested the journalists only in Liberia, I think Liberian journalists feel that they are all law, that they don't want to be guided by the law, and in fact they think that it's from different planets, that they don't want to be touched. Look, the law is clear; it governs everybody that you cannot record people's secrets. When it is different level, the session is open, you can open your recorder and record anybody. But people doing French conversation, they put a recording on, and there's the issue. I think the speaker has this, and that's what saying that the speaker won't go against the media. Look, I think it is bad for South society. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll leave you talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening. Edison, I want to thank you for this evening to Mr. Galu. I called from Gambia, so I think last night I called and I raised an issue.
But that issue, the person that was the issue, the person on the show, Mr. Obunuga, education behind on spoon talk. So he's a government official. He want to know the position, no answer, no perspective. So want to know. Because we found the program, found the government.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave you talk to this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello? Well, it seems that this person seems like you're not ready. We'll leave you talk to this person.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Robert Quick, father from Sultan Community.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, on a lot of South Korea issue. For me, what really want the position of Maduna is to, encourage other people that are then gathered by the actual authority to just go and clear that bill. Instead of them talking which one. It will not help them. Now they feel that this day will not going to come. They were just here creating property for themselves. So whatever the structure that was quoted, they need to pay for it. And they pay for everything. Even on the property, they bill with the available money. And they fix it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll leave you right there. Talk to this person from this end.
Let's take two more.
Yeah, we'll take two more calls and then we return to the panelists to continue the conversation tonight. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
You're live.
Yeah, my name is Samba Nkao, and I'm calling from the program. The first thing is that I have an issue that I am a supporter of the government, but the way things are going, I want to say, I need somebody before they play it. Hello?
Go ahead, you live.
Yeah, the issue here is, for the month of October, the government decided that we are going to open a US account for some of us. We open an account, since October NF, and US account, now we see our 30% is still $1. But up to now, November is going to an end. After USD, we have not received any money, and we are more as part of that particular project. So I'm appealing to the finance minister so that he send our 40%, which is in US. Because there are both people who are waiting every time, waiting, and the month is going to an end. Just October, November, for November, up to now, we have not received after 70%.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave you, and this will be our last caller for tonight. Let's hear you live. The name you called from where? Go ahead.
One is the like all those that government money or they want to keep everything and so they finally are doing after second high school. Getting like access and this and getting to we go the government that without
Thank you. Well, we're done with the calls from this end.
Thank you so much, Harris. Thanks for taking the call. Welcome to the show, guys. You can call from international numbers. The number is posted on the screen. That's 774-578-1963. Thank you. Make your calls. Let's hear from you regarding what we discussed. The Clear Hope Foundation is connection to the government resources to build this facility. I think I just saw the comment. I just been called. Okay, she established a foundation in 2018 and raised money in the name of her office. Absolutely right. And caller, you are live. Your name and where you calling from? One second, Mr. Duna. I'm gonna put it on speaker. There you go. What?
Mr. Donu, I'm very disappointed in our people because the government is trying to do everything possible to go after people who took the Liberian people money. And those are the very people who are saying, if you catch one, you catch all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so sad.
Very.
I listened to Nathaniel Magee the other day on Spoon Talk. When one of the panelists asked him, do you consider yourself to be a rich person or a poor person? He said, I'm poor. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the deception? These are the guys who did everything to enrich themselves right now. And this is the guy who built a mausoleum for his mother.
Yeah.
I don't even want to believe whether any president, maybe Kawu might correct me, whether there was any president that ever built mausoleum for them.
Thank you.
And if they consider himself to be a poor guy.
He played fun with the Liberian people. I mean, playing fun. Yeah, he playing fun.
And people are saying, oh yeah, Magay is right here and there. That is a complete deception. We have to begin to call these people out. So thank you for everything that you do for our country. And we hope that one day, Liberian people will begin to realize that, look, we should not believe in a philosophy that when you catch one, you catch all.
Especially people who stole from you. Now tell them McGill could barely pay $50 a month for rent. Now he say he's not a rich man, but he could build all kind of things across the country. I'm sorry for the young people that continue to buy this nonsense. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Dwaru, thank you. The name is Jerry Jean Dobley calling from Springfield, Mass. Let me say bravo to the entire Class Reloaded family. My brother, Liberia is getting better little by little. The pastor may say,
Okay,
it's getting better, my brother. Can you imagine when we tell our kids, we can't ever be on the scene level and living in the US here? When you driving on the left red, everybody stop here. You know, like, brother, you driving the left red, you have to stop. When you're ready, somebody on the left read the movie. But the woman is operating, whether you like it or not. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Eduardo. Thank you for answering my call. I appreciate it. I want to say hello to your panelists. And just give me at least 30 seconds or 40 seconds. Let me just address something. I heard you guys, the discussion you guys had today was very, very unique, right? But what I'm saying about the justice system, I think the president needs to speak to the nation, invite the press, and tell the people of Liberia, I am not responsible for what happened in the court because we don't want to be more accountable 2029. Let the president speak to the press, say the justice system, the judges, the corrupt judges that in a course over there that fighting against corruption because they're not helping the situation. They are not helping the president. They should be the one to speed the corruption cases, but they're sleeping only. They play tactics only. And this is wrong. I think the president should come out and speak to the nation on this issue because he's doing well. He's suspending this official who been corrupt. You know, the past government official who been corrupt, the cases are just in court, and we're getting tired of it. The president needs to address the Eduardo. It's important he address the nation.
Thank you.
I just want to speak to my brother. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I want to speak to my brother, Mo Ali. Mo Ali, this platform is an international platform. It is a government platform. Please, my brother, those Liberians are calling you from your community saying that you mean, do not address the issue on this platform. Let your personal Facebook page, my brother. If you mean to them, you mean to them. This is not like your personal working money you earning. If you want to give to them, you give to them. Please, man.
Thank you.
That's the issue on our platform, Mo Ali. If
Thank you.
You mean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eduardo.
Yeah, and I want to address what you said. I'm sorry, I'll let you go. The president cannot come out and do this for so many reasons. But you and myself, we can come out and say the judge is not doing their job. Because not the president come out and give a press conference on the judiciary. My brother, the way our system is set up, the people play manfully with the team. They will say the president won't turn the judge's hand, all kind of thing. But we can talk it. The president cannot talk it. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? 1 second here, caller. For some reason, I think you hung up. Hello, caller. Oh, man. Apology, caller. Please call back. Caller, you are live. Your name and where you calling from, caller? I don't know what's going on with my phone here, my brother. For some reason, it keeps going off. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. Yeah, so each time I call on Class Reload, I go foot to foot with you, 100% with you, Eduardo. Impunity. You cannot let corrupt officials go free. Any country that allows that, there's no way that country is going to be developed. The greatest country on earth, what we call America,
they don't let nobody go free. That's development right there. Because as soon as people steal and you punish them, everybody be in check, and then the money will be directed to the right places. Impunity. Every time I call you, impunity, until Liberia can get away with impunity, there's no way. Even the United Party can do their best. Tell it to the non-com, our people pull CDC back, we will go another step forward.
I mean, I think it happened, but I don't tell like I think say I had you like I think I let year by year. What better will pass here? No, I want people about OP. Look, let me say this. The issue in Liberia, people get afraid. If Dualu is president, Dualu say want to prosecute Cole, maybe Cole become president, she will prosecute me. This is the fear people have in the country. But it's a ridiculous fear to me. If you do the right thing, nobody can prosecute you. They can try, they won't be able to. But if you do the right thing, those criminals cannot come back to power. Thank you so much, brother. That's why I always say, don't, I will not get money in my left account of Liberia. I will fight and become president of the country. I will fight for the rest of my days because we'll fix it. If you see for the Liberian people, me, I want execution, a corrupt official, and the money over $5,000. I want laws already get executions. And I will make sure that happens. So we can't even worry about it the second time. I want children dying, but we're sort of talking a little bit. When we're talking how they say, hey, yeah, leading, you know, and somebody on a power. Oh, somebody on a power, came on a power. Call your life.
Hello? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll petition you to leave the show so you can come and raise our money, man, to go do our investment in Liberia.
We're raising it, but you know, the seed money is giving us help. We have some promises, but it's a seed money. I'm willing to leave my job today. I've said this a million times. Yeah.
The same people that who children are walking in our slipper in West Point with a mud, they are the same people that are defending criminals. They fail to realize that Cloud Williams brother took $7 million from Conapé, the river says, and ran away. They know that. How can John Wilson, who is playing professional football in Europe and getting money, then a woman will take government money, build property, and put it in your son name. So what's the mommy who was born in Zosa? And I'm a farm owner in Liberia and I pay taxes. What's the mommy who was born in Zosa? So nothing that will not be there for me. We will take our resources, buy property, and put it in your son name. And Liberia people over there defending it. Brother, you are going to do enough to educate people. They're not going to listen to you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I see your point, but I believe our people must listen because if we don't listen, Liberia will continue on this path. We'll take one more last call. My brother James David is here, Madigo drum. This is for Liberia. You saw here go. He's out Madigo drum. And then go to the hey, G David. G, you ready on today? You enjoy it. You see, I love the kind of opposition. So no, you don't cost. You can stay a whole day. Nobody will care about you. Yeah, go ahead, man, my man. Somebody got to carry Liberia in front. We can't be like this. I don't know why people are scared. Oh, the man eat Freemason, so they may get prosecuted, man. Oh, the man will eat. We already eat witchcraft in Liberia. Our children dying. Our children dying. If you don't prosecute these people, look, I want for a judge to be sitting on the bench. They come to grab that judge by the neck and slam him into the floor. If they got evidence against him, arrest him in the courthouse. They do it here in America. In developed country to do it. If you break the law, you can be on the bench, let it arrest you by the neck and slam you into the ground and kill you and prosecute you. You do it 2-3 times, nobody will do that nonsense. But we'll be talking a little bit, hey man, that somebody own a power. Now somebody power, you will be breaking the country down. Caller, you're the last caller for the night.
Okay, good evening. I just got a couple of points I want to say. I appreciate your little chat you have been giving on.
Thank you.
When I listen to it, the motivation talk for diaspora.
Thank you.
That's a good idea. And then I also appreciate the call for the history, but we need somebody to educate, maybe only 10-15 minutes to educate our Liberian people. The people play on the lowness of the people. They play on the people who are not educated. They play on the poverty, ignorance, the disease, which is poverty. That what the so-called legislators or representatives or senators play on the people.
Yeah.
So people need to keep telling them the right thing. Like, for example, you go buy a land in military, say, oh my man, buy and go. Now when you finish saying that, 2-3 other person.
Yes.
So how can a person verify a piece of property before they buy it? I want to find someone to educate our people. Secondly, I want to speak to Yeke. Yeke has two problems. One is found in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 8. And it says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Mama, who you for me? I get me. I get coming for you.
Yeah, no, I say, I mean, I'm a citizen. He got raped or abused, and so people are getting a problem. And the second one, when sugar in the brain, it can cause a lot of other different like a lot of medication reaction. So those are the two problems that you have. So I hope you realize it next time, because I told my people to leave tomorrow and just return to vote for him. So he can't stand and be acting. At the time he was abusing and insulting, he had a right to say, well, now you can't see the thing colloquially in your eye, they saying it wrong. You can't keep doing that. So maybe they met for me and they sugar going to bring on a different thing. At least in your eye to get a glaucoma, then you sit down.
Kenny, thank you. Have a great night. Go, welcome to the show. I know you got a few things to talk about. Low Liberian people trying to prosecute somebody is not a wish hunt. It is necessary for our democracy to thrive. It is an ingredient to cook pepper soup. You put chicken soup inside, you put pepper inside, then I'm pepper soup. Go, welcome to the show. Take the next 10 minutes. Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I love what the last caller said about the need for our people to.
Dwalu, can I just close and then I watch call take for 10 minutes, please?
Okay, close.
Thank you.
Because you must say you can go.
Thank you. So no, I will not go. I will be in the background and watch it. Dwalu, is a great show tonight, and I like some of the key points that we have discussed. In this country, we pretend like we want good things to happen. Obviously, fighting corruption is a good thing, but when it starts, then we are the same people who don't like it. There are lots of things that go on and people criticize. When they don't happen, people still criticize. If we don't attempt to bring people to vote for what they did in the past, then there's a problem. If we attempt, then there's a problem. So the thing is, if we don't do it, they will say, oh, you're lying on us. So for me, I'll keep encouraging the team, the asset recovery team, the Ministry of Justice, the LACC, to do what is right by the law. Do not violate anyone's right. Do not go hunting after somebody. Whatever your evidence or pieces of evidence lead you to, go there and uncover the facts. If people will get indicted and sent to court, then they should. Tomorrow it could happen to any of us. But I also wanted to say, the man is running from his cardinal responsibility. It's my first time seeing a lawmaker. Your colleagues are debating the budget, and you jump from there, you're going all over the place. Which tells me that your capacity to develop the budget, to discuss the budget, just does not exist. It also tells me that you don't even know what you are in the legislature for. And we are responsible for maintaining you there. So when people say, oh, we blame people like you guys for having Yeke in the house, I agree, I take the blame. But it's also good that he remains there to show his limitations, his shortcomings, and his inability to be a representative. At least in 2029, when we say you're going to vote for him, people will already have made that decision based on his performance. On this note, I want to say thank you and good night to everyone. I'm here watching.
Thank you, Moko. It's in your court.
Yeah, thank you. So I was going to talk today about a story that kind of illustrates how we distort history based on oral accounts. And it's really important to highlight this because I think we have to start taking ourselves more seriously in Liberia, how we narrate our story, and make sure that historical accounts are evidence-based and not just based on they say business. So the story of Madame Zo Kete really, really illustrates this problem of lack of peer review and academic seriousness surrounding our historical narratives. History is an academic discipline. It's not they say, it's what you're able to show evidence to prove. The purpose of it is to uncover truth through evidence, through documents, through primary sources, newspaper articles at the time. And yes, primary source testimony is also good, but you have to compile all of the evidence to come to a logical conclusion. You can't just somebody say something and you just take it and run with it. And so that oral history, there's two problems or challenges with oral history. One, the concept of time in our tradition is different from the way that we calculate it today, right? Time, what year it is, how many years have passed, how old people are, when people were born, things were tracked differently. So it puts a challenge forward. And I know many of our people believe that, a lot of our people believe that people can live for 160, 200 years because, biblical stories and things like that. But it's not really scientifically possible for someone to live that long. So one of the things I'd like us to look at here, if you have the pictures, Dwalo, sorry.
Yep, they're ready.
Okay, let's look at this lady, Madame Zo Kete. Now, her story was so outrageous that it was published in newspapers and magazines across the country. This particular photo was from Ebony Magazine, 1962. And it says, Madame Zo Kete of the Republic of Liberia, who gives her age as 155, older than the republic in which she resides. That's 155 years old. She was discovered when the 1962 census was taken in Liberia, in the Bopulu district. She was, in the Bopulu district. It says the proof she offered of her age was that she served King Sao Bozo of the Bandi chiefdom, who died 123 years ago in 1829. Remember, this was written in 1962.
Correct.
And in 1962, they're assuming that King Sao Bozo died in 1829. Whether or not her claim is valid or a fabrication, born of confused memory, perhaps still remains to be seen. It is very possible, however, that she may have derived whatever age she has achieved from a tranquil, unhurried existence in Africa. So they're basically making fun of her, which is a popular theory today of, for longevity. They're basically laughing about this because in the West, we know that you're not really going to live to be 155 years old, right?
In 1962, that was like
even today. I mean, anybody can look at who's the oldest person ever recorded. So they didn't publish this because they believed her. They published it because they thought it was funny. There's a fundamental flaw here. She did not say she was 155 years old. So when I went back and I looked at why they said she was 155, it was because she said she knew Sao Bozo and she worked for him. He had a farm, and when she was a young girl, she used to work on the farm. The question is, who is she talking about? So a logical person would say, who is Sao Bozo? And why are they assuming that he died in 1829? Because Boatswain died in 1829. And they used to call Boatswain Bosan because our people couldn't pronounce Boatswain. There was a King Sal Boso, but King Sal Boso and Bothwell are not the same person. So the critical flaw here was that they assumed that King Sal Boso was Bothwell.
Correct.
So she wasn't lying. She's just talking about somebody who lived and died about 100 years after the actual Bothwell died. So there's about roughly 100-year span between the two human beings. And nobody has bothered to really examine this and say, why are we assuming that these are the same people, that these people are one and the same? Nobody's really taken the time academically looking at it through logic and really figuring this out. So I want you to show the next photo, please.
The next photo, let's do this one.
Oh yeah, that's the cover of the magazine, the 1962 Ebony magazine. This article is published. And it was also published in Jet. This was also this was for you, for Claire for Hope. This got nothing to do with the history.
Okay,
I just wanted to tell you how much they lying, because the woman right on her own website says that she started in 2018. So even to change the website, we've already categorized all of that. So
correct. So this is the grave in memory of King Sal. It was a marker, basically.
Yeah. So this is probably Sal Boso's grave, but it's definitely not Bothwell's grave.
Mm.
They're not the same person.
Okay.
The other reason I know this isn't Bothwell's grave is because Benjamin Joseph Knight Anderson in 1868, right? 49 years after he died. 49 years after his death, went to Bopulu.
So the memory was still fresh.
Went to Bopulu and they took him to Bothwell, to the actual place where Bothwell was buried. And he described the location with coordinates, and he also described the grave, where it was sitting and how it looked. He was buried traditionally in a mound, as they bury kings. And because he was somewhat westernized, they had a granite stone that marked the grave. So we know that the location is completely different. Anderson writes that he went and saw Bothwell's grave. So the question is, why do we think they're the same person? And I believe it's just this thing where we got to give everybody a native name. We have to we got to nativize everybody. So the question I have, and I spoke to, I didn't really speak to him, I messaged Senator Conant, because they want to rebury Bothwell. So they think it's Bothwell or Sal Boso.
Yeah.
And I said, that's great, but we need to understand who's actually buried here. Is this person the same person that died in 1829, or is this man that died in the 1920s that Madame Zolketa knew? Now, some of the things, written record of the name Sal Boso really doesn't appear until the 1960s, the late 1950s, early 1960s. Jangama Johnson, then when they're doing the oral stuff, right? So you don't see anybody called Sal Boso until then, 1950s, 1960s. Before that, even his son. And the other thing I want to mention, Benjamin Joseph Knight Anderson met Bothwell's son, King Momolu. And King Momolu of Bopulu was a very powerful king, very powerful Muslim king. He had a greater territory and more citizens and soldiers than the Liberian government did, because his kingdom spanned great distances and over multiple ethnic groups. So you've got King Momolu telling Anderson Bothwell is his father. He never refers to his father as Sal Boso. Never. He calls his father Bothwell. You know why? Because I want a man called that. He was very proud to have worked on a British ship as a boatswain. So that's what he called himself. And it was normal in that time period for people who had been somewhat anglicized to take on these kinds of names. So I'm saying all of that to say that we need to actually, it's a call out to Liberian historians. And I challenge anyone listening to prove that Bothwell is Sal Boso. It is not true. This is something we've been on for years. It is not, they're not the same person. And what it does is it does a disservice to Liberians because we don't know anything about King Momolu. We're focusing on this kind of almost mythology, but we have an actual powerful king who was in fact the son of Boatswain, who we know a lot about because Edward Wilmot Blyden met with him. He helped the Liberian government. He did all of these things. His information is well documented. He sent his children to school in Monrovia, right? So his descendants are still around. And we don't talk about that. We're stuck on this kind of strange thing. And we know for a fact that these Muslim kings, whether they be Bandi or Madingo or Vai, did not bury themselves in this manner. They did not bury themselves in this. They did not bury, that's not their culture to bury and put, gravestone and all that kind of stuff. It's very strange. And when I was in Liberia, when they redid that grave and put the praying hands there, all that kind of stuff, I said, well, what are they doing? They're not a culture. And imagine being a Christian and being buried, and then somebody comes and does your grave completely different, like in a Buddhist way, and it was not your culture. Is that not offensive?
It's extremely offensive, actually.
I mean, in my opinion, right?
The not just opinion, I believe, will be extremely offensive because it's the last
So,
right.
yeah, so that's just my thoughts I wanted to share, and I wanted to throw that out there because it is something that the people of Boplu have a right to know their actual history. Boplu is very important and a very important city in Liberian history, and Dr. Patrick Burrows says it's one of the oldest continuous settlements in West Africa. That is the most ancient city. So there's a lot of archaeological value and cultural value in the city of Boplu, right? I'm not talking about it in the context of the county. And so we need to use our students, our university, to really do what we're supposed to do and take academia seriously and deal with history from a position of academia and not mythology.
I wanted you to comment on the Claire we are saying. I'm so glad you sent this picture. I'll actually read what it says. So just comment on it before we finally close tonight.
Okay.
Let's hear what you have to say. This is our journey about us. This is actually on Claire's We Are page, original page before it got taken down. Founded in June 2028 by the first lady. 2018, I'm sorry. 2018. Great correction. By the First Lady of the Republic of Liberia, Claire Hope Foundation. It's a non-political initiative aspiring to create an equitable society in Liberia where women, children, youth, and the elderly are healthy, educated, and fully empowered to lead an independent and prosperous life. In order to restore the hope and dignity of the underprivileged, we are embarked on the construction of the City of Hope, a massive modern facility where thousands of less fortunate Liberians, often street girls and disadvantaged youth, will find hope for a better and brighter future. Now, Claire did mention in her release this afternoon that she was doing it way before 2008 and then way after. I want to hear your take on this before we actually close for the night.
Their own website says they started this in 2018. So that's not true. It says 2018. I believe the website. It is a commissioned website. And it's also the website that you can go to make donations. And based on this website, where you would direct potential donors to, they're going to be looking at the information there that it started in 2018. It's very easy to debunk. You got to show the registration, right? So if it was registered in Liberia, there are records. If it was registered in the United States, there are records. If it was registered in Jamaica, there are records. So you go straight to the government agency that's responsible in whichever country for registering nonprofit organizations, and you can also prove that way when it was registered. The most important thing here is not even that. The most important thing is if you are a first lady that has a budgetary allocation for your salary, and you take on an official position, I think her budget for her office was $1 million.
Yeah, something around that.
Yeah, $1 million. And I don't think, anyway, it was $1 million. And she has a staff that the government of Liberia pays for. And she uses her official position to raise money for that office. That is obviously, there's no argument here. If she wants to name it after herself, no problem. She could have called it any number of things. She wanted to put her name on it. Just like everything is called 14, you know, after a jersey.
Yeah.
She was in charge. It was her project. She wants to name it after herself. Great. And I'm not suggesting that the name be changed. I mean, you know, we don't want to change Antoinette Sudman Stadium or Samuel Doe Stadium or, you know, whatever. That's what it's called. But what is it? It is a government project through the office of the First Lady. You are no longer First Lady. You can't take the government assets with you when you leave office. I mean, imagine if every project that you do while you're in government, you decided, you know, they park for me, this place for me, you know, imagine. You can't do that. What if Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had said Jackson Fiado Hospital at my hospital? She raised money for that hospital while she was president of Liberia.
That's right.
She can't say that her private hospital, she named it after her friend Jackson Fiado, and in fact said, y'all got to pay me before y'all come to the, I mean, that's not how the world works. And I think the caller that has said that a lot of this stuff, Dwalu, is because people don't know better.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised that people that sit in high places that don't know better. Some of this stuff is just shocking, the level of ignorance.
Yeah.
You know, that comes from people. And I don't even think it's something to dispute. It's not, I mean, who's controlling it and why is the question. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. So it's like the group of 77, right?
People, I say this to all the time. I think sometimes people play intentional stupidity because that's the society we have. Some people have to attach to somebody to have the kind of relevance they're looking for, so they can see the truth and they can know that truth is hurting people that they love or their country. They will still stick to it and say, listen, that my own person, I would dress my own devil, nobody would naked my devil, even if the devil passing around killing small children in the village. And I don't know how we're going to unravel that, but I want to make this comment. This is important. The Claire Weir Foundation, like I said, it's a great foundation for the Republic of Liberia. They go what it intends to do. We all understand this is government project. If it was entirely government, we welcome it. And like I said up here, Claire, we have actually initiated this, but we have to be fair about what this is. It's a government project. This is not a wish on young people. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't call it. There's a caller writing in here a bunch of rubbish talking about it's a private. It doesn't say it's private.
No,
it's not. It's not private. What makes it private? What makes it private? You cannot raise money under the name of the First Lady, under the office of the First Lady, and it be private. You just can't. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even understand why people are confused about this.
And this is doctor.
Because you're a doctor. I mean, is why this is the kind of thing that shocks me. People go to school. Like, for example, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and we're talking about people who go to school for something, and they go very far in their specialized degree, and then they leave their lane and start talking about things they don't understand because they think that doctor title is a blanket understanding of the entire world and everything in it. If you're a nurse and you got your technical degree, and you didn't take liberal arts classes, you don't understand public administration, you don't understand the Constitution, you don't understand the process of governance, you understand biology and the practice of nursing, stay in your lane. Not that you can't cross-reference and learn new things, but don't have strong, uninformed opinions about things you have not taken the time to study. Strong, uninformed opinions about things that you don't fully understand. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's just a lack of knowing what you don't know.
And what I want to do is, because this is one of the conversation, Mr. Colette, I want to actually read what he wrote. Let the audience gauge it, especially those that are listening in Liberia. This is Dr. Abraham Detri Colette. This is what he writes. This is my unbiased opinion and recommendation. The Claire Hope Foundation was established in 2018 by former First Lady Claire Marie Weir as a private, charitable, non-profit organization, not a statutory government agency under Liberian law. There is no law or executive instrument that creates it as a state-owned institution and public and public records, including the foundation own launch material. Look, doctor, let me tell you something. Just because I don't call it public, but I use public funding to establish that by default on our law, it is public. I can get on and just take government money and I say that I'm public. I didn't establish it. The legislation didn't pass it, and I go build a clinic and start charging people. It is still public. It doesn't have to be a statutory mandate. The point is, you cannot use government money and build something and call it private. That is the whole point of it. And I know, Doc, you understand this, and this is the point we are trying to make. But we can't do this to the country. Those of us who know better, we got to tell the people, listen, government money is for government purposes. And government office is also government money. Now, I know some people may not understand this. Government office is government resource. So if you're the foreign minister of the Republic of Liberia, you cannot go to France, they give you $10 million, you put it in your pocket or you put it in your own bank account. That is illegal and that is a crime under our laws. Go with your parting statement for the night.
Yeah, the thing is, we have to take our time and read and understand things before we talk things with confidence. I've been on this show for quite some time, Dwalu. When you ask me questions and I don't know the answer, I tell you, say, I don't know.
Plenty of time.
Dala?
Plenty of time.
I don't want to make a fool of myself. And because I'm not a fool. Because I know what I don't know and I know what I know. I know what I've taken the time to study. So when I speak on a subject, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'm always informed before I speak. I might not always be right, but I'm always speaking from a position of information because I seek information. I want to understand before I form an opinion. It's not that hard. It doesn't mean I'm smarter than people. It means I'm more responsible with what comes out of my mouth. And as a parent, as an adult, that's what we're supposed to do. But what I see happening, I don't know if it's because of politics or because of something else, people think that they can just say anything, just spout out whatever they want to spout out. Listen, Dr.
I already read it.
Abraham, he read the entire thing that you posted. And probably this guy, if he in fact is a doctor and not just some profile that he created to give himself authority, because I really find this to be, unfortunate. I don't know if he's even a real person. So I'm not going to give it much more. But the thing is, you cannot be in government and hold an official position. You're on payroll in government. Use your office to raise money for yourself. It's not ethical. It's not legal. Any resources that you raise for yourself, you're doing so illegally. If you leave office and you want to start a foundation like President Sirleaf did, that's fine. She can start a foundation for herself now as a former first lady. She's no longer on government payroll. She no longer is being paid and she's no longer the first lady. Now she can start a foundation and raise money as a former first lady.
That's right.
Or whatever else she's accomplished in her life. But you can't do that while you're in office. It's wrong. There is nothing here to argue. It's just crazy to me that people even think that this is something to argue about.
Yeah.
Where's the disconnect?
That's why sometimes when I say, Cole, your ignorance is not as good as my education. Some people think it's arrogance. It's not arrogance. Because the thing is, you have to know about what you're talking about. Because, look, my thing is, if this is a real person, for example, you have a duty to educate our population the right way, because there are certain things some of our people genuinely don't know this. When you hear about people talking about wish hunt, because they don't have any other vocabulary to explain what they're trying to say, they just call it wish hunt. When you go to the court to adjudicate the process properly, it's far from witch hunt.
Exactly.
And sometimes,
let me tell you, brother, you're getting frustrated, but they're doing it as political. It's political propaganda. We call it witch hunt. We'll get rid of the people credibility. It's not going to always work. That's why we're here. It's to debunk this stuff. Other thing I would say is, I know people with PhDs. I was mentored by people with PhDs. I am still being mentored. I don't know. There's not a single person who I don't see Dr. Patrick Burrows. I don't see Dr. Elwood Dunn. I don't see Dr. Justine Carr, Dr. Herbert Burrow. I don't see any of these people putting doctor before their name. Dr. Sam told it. I don't see them putting doctor before their name. They just put their name there. Because, player ain't got to fight for jersey and show you player.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? The people who I know who earned their credentials through the hard work and the
produced
work, and they produce documents, they write books, they have publication upon publication, and they have peer-reviewed articles and books that they've written and published. They're not walking around here calling it that. They're not going around, my Facebook handle is Dr. This. They don't do that. It's always the political ones, the ones that came out of school that got to show something. It's great. I applaud your accomplishment, but please let your utterances represent your level of education. When you come to Class Reloaded and make a comment and you want to show that your authority, PhD scholars are not small scholars. To have a PhD, it means you're advancing human knowledge. Doctorate degrees mean that you, in your dissertation, have come up with something that no one else knew before. And you've advanced human knowledge on a particular subject matter. You've had to go to defend this information among other scholars, and they have all had to agree that you, doctor, have advanced human knowledge. Why would you come here and argue that someone, while in office, raised money in that office, and that is a private property? Come on.
Allocations from the budget towards that very property.
Towards the property. I mean, come on. We have to do better. We have to do better.
Marco, thank you for joining this afternoon.
Y'all start making PhDs look common, man. Yeah, it's not a small thing. Stop making it look common and simple.
It's difficult. I would not even attempt it unless I hit the lottery, but that's a whole nother thing.
It's difficult and it's time consuming, and it is not something that even there's people walking around even with master's degrees and any degree that sometimes don't represent it because we don't all get these titles through the same process.
That's right.
Not all equal. Everybody's, some people get their degrees by hook and crook, and others actually work for them, and it shows.
Well, it shows. It shows heavily. You can tell. It shows. And they're the one to flaunt it when you see putting PhD, GSA, MPA all behind the knee.
Weird. It shows. And
what are you doing?
It shows. You got to tell that.
And our former president has 3 doctorates. You have to pronounce the 3
honorary though. He didn't. There were honorary. There were honorary.
I know they were honorary. But it was one of those things, and CDC will flaunt it. But go with your party statement before we leave for the night.
My parting statement is that we have to take this education thing very seriously. We have to. Education is the tool for liberation. We have to rethink how we structure our curriculums. We have to also couple that with technical training. Human beings have a vast range of skills and expertise. The purpose of education is to make people reach their full potential in whatever area they are interested in or capable of being successful in. We don't need everybody in the country going to a 4-year university, especially when it comes to a country where skilled labor is not being encouraged.
Developing country.
We need electricians, we need carpenters, we need bricklayers, we need scientists, geologists, we need a lot of things. We need technical skills. The university is for scholars, not militants.
Amen.
The university should be an opportunity for the people who have best performed in high school. And I'm not saying this as an educational, it's because of our resource scarcity at this time.
Thank you.
So if you let everybody in the university that was built for about 20,000 students, and you, let's say it was built for 15,000 students, and you let 50,000 students in there, everybody's education level is compromised because there's too many students. So it should be about quality, not quantity. And what other countries do to make this better is they have a competitive entrance process. Not everybody that passes get in, but the top whatever percentage of those who pass get in. And then everyone else can either go to a private university or they can get some kind of technical training. People go to the university because they want to have degrees so they can get a job. You should be able to get a job even if you don't have a degree. We have to develop industry in our country. Most people in America that are working here don't have degrees.
Don't have degrees.
And they make good money and make great lives for themselves and do jobs that they enjoy.
Sometimes more than degree holders.
And a lot of them make a lot more money than PhD holders, even just degree holders. Some PhD people typically are not wealthy.
Nope.
They're typically far from wealthy. So this whole thing is, we have to diversify our education and technical training and skills, build skills among young people. And it's okay. We have to do this. We have to do this, guys. And I want to thank everyone for watching. And Mr. Doctor, I don't believe you. I'm sorry. Don't take offense. I just don't believe you. He said, I'm so sorry you have this mindset once you try to. I swear to God. I don't believe him, Dwalu. I don't believe him. He's there. He's just trolling us at this point.
Well, I saw the whole thing, Abraham. We read the whole thing. I mean, the last line was almost like a redundancy, so to speak, because you just repeated it. Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. Look, let me close for the night.
Before you come in, I just got one more thing to say. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't have AI. When I was younger, we didn't have AI, all the Google stuff, right?
No.
We had to actually write. We had to actually think, and we had to actually know. And if you didn't know, you had to go to an encyclopedia or something for reference. And sometimes that information was dated. And then later on, we had something called Ask Jeeves, which was very funny before there was Google. Google, you know, long story short, now I recognize AI writing because it's repetitive. It's so obvious.
Yeah, it's so obvious.
So what they do, they go to chat box, whatever, and then they put it, and it's always repetitive.
Yeah.
The way it structures things, it's always the same.
Yeah.
There's no individuality, no expression. The creativity in people's writing based on their personalities, it disappears, and everyone has these cookie cutter responses and stuff. And it's like you having a discussion with a robot and not a human being. That is how it looks. I take what I did, I put in ChatGPT, it will rearrange the words. I post it here, now it looks smart. You don't look smart, you look like a robot. But it's like I'm having a conversation with somebody, you know, with a computer. Y'all stop that thing, man. Y'all know how to rearrange.
Do better. I'm glad you mentioned about the library. I was literally living in the library on the 4th floor in the state of Fall River. In fact, when I used to show up, there was a little bit of Ensu, your quarter is upstairs. That's how much they knew me, because you have to literally find it in a book. But to find what you're looking for, you got to read a 16 different places to be able to find one thing. So you were forced to read.
Dwalu, I'm old enough to remember when we had those little cards, the little cards that you got to go through and then in alphanumeric order, and then you find a book, and then you go looking around.
You know it. Look, I drove from Massachusetts to Michigan. Using the old map, you know, you got to stop. Me and my wife, right? It was like 2000, and you know that time we don't have the GPS. You know, what do you call it? What is it called? The MapQuest. So you stop at a gas station, you get a map from there, and we have MapQuest. We printed it out, so we drive. My wife was at the time my girlfriend. She was supposed to be the navigator, but she can navigate, but she in our front seat. Honey, I said, but you the navigator, there. So you gotta stop spraying on the hood of the car, know the routes you're going. I'll tell you, we drove from here to Michigan. It took us all day. But the point I'm trying to make is you were forced to read.
You were forced to read, and the thing about it is, the highway system is easiest when you get on the back roads now.
Oh yeah.
When you get on the back roads, you're trying to find an address. That's when the map is really used to come in. I mean, the world has changed, and technology has improved the world. You know, the internet and GPS and AI, everything has improved the speed in which you can get information. But there's no substitute to using your own mind to think and express yourself.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, and a lot of times people have to remember that artificial intelligence is drawing from what is available on the internet.
Correct.
And even when you do like Liberian history, if you go into AI, it's not going to be as accurate because there's not as much. There are not as many published articles about peer-reviewed, legitimate published articles online about Liberia. So a lot of times when you go into Google, and I tell the young people we mentor through the Leadership Academy, they'll go Google something and it will be completely wrong. And I have to explain to them how the algorithms work and that it's really, you're just drawing from information that other people put out there. And you have to look at the source. Is this person credible? Is what they're saying true? So with Liberian history, we can't do that as much. And Miata Stella Harding said, Liberians don't make general statements. A lot of Liberians do read. Many don't, but many of us do. Alfonso L. Grant, not only Liberians, a lot of people don't like to read. I agree. There's some general population, people in the population that don't like to read. Obviously, I mean it's here in America, it's everywhere.
Gen Zs and the newer generation.
So Hawa Golokai is absolutely correct.
Hawa's right, yeah. And it's a normal thing out there. Look, guys, let's continue to elevate this topic. Sometimes we come here, we talk, we disagree, but we fine-tune Liberia a little bit more. The goal is to get it right. Let's understand what is wrong for our society, not on political line or tribal line or some ridiculous bickering that just keep pushing us behind. We got to find a common ground that push the entire country forward. And that's the aim here. It's not about an individual. I want to say this again to my brothers on the other side, brothers editions. Nobody here Claire we are. Nobody's wish hunting our former first lady. Personally, for me, I love the lady. I think she's an excellent first lady. She was an excellent first lady. And I think she did a good thing for the country. But by the same token, we got to account for the people's money. The people money that I'm played to. The presidents must be set today. I don't want Cole is president tomorrow and Cole believes she can build an entire foundation using her connection in government, etc., and say, oh, I put it on my knee. We have to discourage certain things that is bad entirely for the country. It's not a wish hunt when we're trying to get things in order. And I really appreciate what President Bwaka is trying to do. It's not, and I hope the court, follows suit. Let's expedite these cases through the court. I mean, legitimately, not just speedily, just to make people walk, but to make sure we go through the process because we want to discourage people from taking government resources because we ain't get plenty. This country, $1 billion, I know we have some celebration. That is no money for a country. It's no money. Universities, $3-4 billion that one university budget over there. One university.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of work to do. So sometimes we sit down and people don't understand these basic things and we say, oh, we want more. But in order to get more, we have to discourage public theft in any form. So we can find.
Yeah, I mean, the University of Minnesota that I graduated from, their budget is $4.2 billion. Just one school, one of many schools in just one state.
In one state, thank you.
Just one school. I mean, it is a Big Ten school, but it's one school.
Yeah.
And we're running a country. We're running a country of $5.5 million on $1.2 billion. And then people are saying, oh, the vision for $1 billion budget came from the former Coca-Cola guy. I mean, it's like, obviously, we need to raise money. And then, you didn't invent the idea that we need to cross the $1 billion mark. We've been saying this thing, since Vision 2030 was done back in 2009. We even know your name that time. We sitting out here, everything is about who came up with what. We even know you.
I mean, it shouldn't even matter. We have approximately
the same population. When they were picking in the government.
Exactly.
We want to give credit to one person. We need a $10 billion budget. We need a $20 billion budget. We need $1 trillion budget.
Well, let me put it into context. Singapore is approximately our population. They're about the same size of population. The entire country is smaller than Margibi County. The entire country of Singapore is smaller than Margibi County. Their budget is over $546 billion. They ain't get no interior. We are punching far below our weight. Given the kind of resources we have, we should be almost over $600 billion a year at the very minimum if we were doing what we're supposed to do. And this is why some of us get so frustrated, because we see the capability of a kind of operation that can be run in Liberia if we are really serious about development. But let me say this. If we do Liberia right, on our own, we eat 3 times a day. I had a professor, he was from Norway, and they wrote a paper he was from Sweden. They had this thing because a lot of Swedes were in Liberia. When he found out I was from Liberia, he said, I had a professor back in Sweden. He spent some time in Liberia. He did an entire paper. One guy who found that paper, he said, if Liberia ran the budget at 40% efficiency, nobody in the Republic of Liberia should live on less than $50,000 a year. That was way back in 2021 when we had the conversation.
Yeah.
We are living on $600-700 per year. We can do better. We can do better.
And
it's
we
very
must
sad.
do better.
Much
Yesterday,
better.
Dwali, people were talking about the resources and all those things you were saying yesterday. We have to do better. Dwali, you guys were on point. We have all of this. We have all of this money. We have all of this. We've got human capital. We've got material wealth. As far as minerals, water resources, like
water resources.
Rich.
I think we got 7 major rivers.
Arable land. Liberia has more arable land per capita than most countries in the world.
Yes.
So we have forests, more forests than most countries on the continent of Africa.
On planet Earth per capita.
Per capita.
Yeah.
What is it that we're lacking other than the respect for ourselves and the drive and the level of self-awareness to know what we're able to do with what we have? We lack nothing.
Nothing. We lack nothing. Look, I look at it. I remember we in high school went to New York, the Erie Canal, and they were talking about how at the time Upper New York was not connected to New York City, and they were trying to get traffic up there. And I think about the Lofa River. Lofa is not connected to the ocean. And what they did was the distance from central New York all the way to Erie up there is, it's longer than from Lofa County to the Atlantic Ocean if we decide to have a canal, for example. I'm just saying this thing because the dream of Liberia, look, we can become a multi-billion-dollar. We're not plenty, we're not plenty, but we have no reason to be poor. When you think about it, Liberian people, so when you're voting, it's extremely important. You cannot take Nample and you expect him to lead something when he has not burned the midnight candle.
Exactly.
Something important. Oh, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for popping in here.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And sorry, Abraham, but you made it too funny today.
Well, Abraham,
imagine we jealous of your achievement. Can you imagine?
Hey, bro, I will be jealous of your achievement, and you Liberia, man. I'll be happy for you, my bro. Look,
don't make me stop picking for some people for free. Good night. Thank you for everything.
Good night.
December 6th, it's our day. Unity party, we building a home. December 6th, everybody show face. We are here forever, we are here to stay. Opposition then looking late, now get nothing to say. President Bokai say come, VP Kong say come, Speaker Kun say come, Rotem Nyombre say come, Patrick Anna say come, Mo Ali say come. December 6th, UP we building a home. Unity party outside. Opposition people back one side. December 6th, UPP we building a home. 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 President Bokai say come, VP Kong say come, Speaker Kun say come, Rotem Nyamble say come, Patrick Anna say come, Mo Ali say come. December 6th, UP we building a home. December 6th, it's our day. Unity party, we building a home. December 6th, everybody show face. We are here forever, we are here to stay. President Bokai say come, VP Kong say come, Speaker Kun say come, Protem Nyombre say come, Patrick Anna say come, Mo Ali say come, December 6th, UP we building our home. Unity party outside, opposition people back one side. December 6th, UP we building our home. Yeah, Liberate Developing. This is the Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today. Oh.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Class Reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Class Reloaded,
truth.
Liberia rising,
progress.
JMB and JKK,
develop.
The rescue mission, we move soon.
The Class Reloaded.